It is 6:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. Patrick Mahomes won the AP Most Valuable Player Award last night at the NFL Honors Ceremony. He received 48 of 50 first-place votes. It is his second MVP award in his 6-year career. Justin Jefferson won the Offensive Player of the Year award. Nick Bosa, the Defensive Player of the Year honor. Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, respectively, the Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year winners. Giants head coach Brian Daboll won the Coach of the Year award. Also, Geno Smith, the Comeback Player of the Year. Dak Prescott, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, also DeMarcus Ware among the 9 people elected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Oklahoma and Texas have agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million to join the SEC in 2024, a year earlier than they had originally intended. That's according to the conference from an announcement last night. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Friday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will is powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. A big game preview on our final football preview show until August. Don't like that, but It is still a Friday, and you know what? We're still going to act like it. We've got an MVP and a Hall of Fame class in the National Football League. We've got Texas and Oklahoma putting the SEC in seceding from the Big 12 in the year 2024. And we've got much, much more to discuss until 10 a.m. Alongside 11-year NFL veteran of All for Life, Ramon Foster. Our broadcast journalist, whose J is always capitalized, Kayla Anderson. And the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer, because you know what? We don't settle for anything less than the best from 6 to 10 a.m.
The best producer in the world.
I'm Will Bowling. Hello.
Hola.
The best host in the world over there. I see you, Will. That was for you. That was for you. Haircut
Over
guy?
my shoulder.
Get a haircut to it. Did you
No,
shave? Which
bro,
one is
he
it?
had that haircut like 2 days ago.
You look different this morning.
I shaved a little bit.
See?
There it is. Somebody did say in the chat that he was growing a beard.
He was getting a little rough, wasn't he?
Somebody was like,
rough.
did it take you 3 months to do that? Like, no, idiot. I was sick and for 2 days, and that's what like a 2-day didn't
double.
shave.
How long? You can grow a beard, huh?
Not really.
You can't?
I don't really
It's
care.
kind of spotty.
Yeah.
Is it?
Like, I can grow
mine.
like the-
It won't fill in at
I
all.
just trim
Okay.
it down like kind of low, but it
Yeah.
won't like totally fill in.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
couldn't
know.
imagine you with facial hair
It'd be
like
so
that.
weird.
Yeah,
I don't
wouldn't
think it
like
would be a fit.
It's not really me.
It's not.
No.
A goatee, like beard. It's either
I'll never
nothing
do it.
or beard.
I'll never do it. Yeah.
Okay.
How long have you had the goatee?
I had the goatee since about. I cut off like the small chin strap
Yeah.
because I couldn't go
Oh,
thick on the
gosh.
side. This is probably about 2014-ish. It was just like,
Whoa.
like.
And so
let's
you've
just
never
clean
taken it
up.
off since then?
Yeah, I've taken it off. I think
Okay.
I was messing around during the pandemic. Of
course.
Like went babyface McGee out here, but yeah, I shaved it off. I look like a friggin' child. And it feels weird too. He was like, you rub your face, he's like, oh, who am I?
Like a baby's butt.
Like a baby's butt. Yeah, exactly what it is.
I got a haircut Wednesday.
Yeah.
I got one Wednesday. No, yesterday actually. I missed mine Wednesday.
Oh, you got yours yesterday?
Yeah, I get
Okay.
shaped up. I took it down some more too. I was just like, let's take it down just a little bit more.
We're usually on similar schedules.
We are. I'm usually every Wednesday. Still try to write this off.
I don't do that
because
much.
it's a
Never mind.
business expense.
Okay.
Will's like,
Well, then you should look at my receipts because being a woman is a lot more difficult.
technically we're on TV. It's for work purposes. It's a work expense. How you feel about that, Kayla?
Well, I couldn't do that
Yeah. Okay.
the last 2 years in TV.
You couldn't. Ooh.
No,
I wrote off suits.
Weren't allowed.
it's not.
Workout gear.
Nah.
Everything.
Look at Will.
It was like
Not great.
Listen
great,
to
Bob.
Will. Will's just like, okay.
Isn't
then.
it Buck that wrote off like pedicures?
He does his haircuts too.
Now we're
Manicures.
getting way too far
He's
on
like,
this.
well, my nails are on screen.
No.
I know. Oh, I know.
I know. I feel like he told me he does his haircuts too. Wardrobes, clothes, because you're visual now. This is a part of work. This
We're
is wardrobe.
visual.
Yeah, we are visual. So, work expense. You write off your gas too, Will.
Just glad you have a creative accountant.
Yeah. Can I get your accountant?
Until he tells me no.
Thanks.
Until he tells me no.
Appreciate it.
It's filed. Yeah.
How
I
are
still
our
gotta file
Thursdays?
my taxes too. Go ahead.
How are our Thursdays?
Our Thursdays? Yesterday was pretty solid. Worked that after the show and everything yesterday.
There you go.
Was there videographers at the gym like usual? TikTok stars.
I was tripping. You want to hear what's funny? I saw one of the dads my son kids play with or whatever at the gym. He was like, bro, I was laughing out loud. He's like, I'm laughing out loud in my vehicle when you were describing the gym. He was like, it's so true. I was like, why do we got to wait on the leg press while they're over there setting up their cameras? And oh my God, he was dying laughing
See,
from that conversation.
it is relatable.
It is relatable. I saw a couple girls yesterday flexing on some guys and stuff. It's like, yo, this is not that. Okay, get in and get out, all right? Oh, by the way, yes, it wasn't cameras yesterday. Just some people in there they're getting a workout in. I can't, I'm not going to criticize them whatsoever. They're in there, okay, and I'm a Stairmaster guy, okay? I love the Stairmaster, okay? Get in, full body, do all that type of
Psychopathic
stuff.
behavior.
It is psychopathic.
Those are hard, but they're good workout.
But that
Never
30
done it.
minutes, though, is legit. You hear me? I feel awesome afterwards. But these two individuals get on there, okay, just fully just decked out and stuff. Get on the Stairmaster probably about 10 minutes. You know what they didn't do?
Clean it. They didn't clean it.
Kayla.
No, get out of here.
Kayla.
Red card.
not
Straight
great.
to jail. Do not pass go.
So you're supposed to clean like the part like you're holding on to anything you touch.
Anything.
People
well,
sweat a
Yeah,
lot on
that's
that
crazy.
too. So
Oh,
you
no,
need
I
to
know.
like
I
get
know.
everything because it drips
Dog.
everywhere.
Yeah, I even wiped like some of the step area.
Me too when I go on those. Yeah.
Kayla, I was so ticked off at those two individuals. I was just like,
I like how
How are
you're.
you calling them individuals?
Because I
Well,
don't
because he
wanna
doesn't want to say
specify-
if they're a male or female.
exactly. Those two, because I don't want to pimp.
But he did say decked out, so that makes me think
People
it's female.
listen to our show and will comment. It's like, you can't be saying, you see, Shannon Sharp them just got sued by Brett Favre. Well, we got to be careful out here in these streets.
Brett Favre is a sick individual himself, so I don't think I'm really concerned about what he thinks.
Caleb, separating ourselves from Will. Will said that. No, what I'm
I'd
saying.
rather have Brett Favre coming after me than the IRS, but actually I think the IRS is also coming after Brett Favre, so maybe they could just find me and Brett in the same place at the same time.
Hey, $77 million.
Helping out our good folks of the government.
How he flip a lawsuit against him and him
don't
doing
exist.
something illegal into suing Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp? That's crazy.
I don't have time
$77
for
million. But yeah, they did not wipe down the Stairmaster machine.
I just don't have time for that. Like after all we went through with all that crap of just like
Yeah.
we don't want to get sick because of all that stuff we had to go through in the pandemic.
Exactly.
And, oof.
I saw Andrew
clean
in there
your
too.
stuff.
I was Andrew Baranowski. I saw him at the gym too. He's in there. He got a personal trainer and everything.
Andrew was in there. Look at you making friends from the chat in the gym.
The gang is everywhere. Is all I'm
he
telling y'all.
pays more
okay?
attention to them during the show than he does to me, so might as well go meet them in person.
You right? I ain't even gonna dispute though, Kayla.
I went back and watched it because I had to. And I could not stop laughing. It was so funny.
It was good. I can't lie, 'cause
And I was even looking at Will at part of it.
Makes it so much worse.
But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about what was going on with what I saw in the chat.
me
you
too.
sound like every girl I've ever dated.
Oh,
Just looking at me and focused on everything else.
Why do you do this?
Everything
And
else.
it's not true. It's not true at all, but I love it. But yeah, wipe down your machines, man, if you're at a public gym. And
Yeah.
don't have your tripod set up on the leg press, because I don't back squat anymore. I use the leg press.
And then wash the tripods too.
Thank you.
Wipe
for
it
not
down.
going
What's
over.
that song? Wipe it down.
Wipe me down.
Yeah,
With
wipe
Fox
it
and Lil
down.
Boosie, you
Lil
feel
Boosie.
me?
Fox a million.
Fox a
Yeah,
million.
that's right.
You're my boy. He
Look,
does
there
this.
you go.
Every so often he'll drop a nugget. He'll be like,
Now you're listening.
you did get out of the burbs for a while.
No, I it's okay.
Look at Laura said, "We'll bless it."
You know.
How was your Thursday, man? You asking us about us? I see you got the Celsius. Did you have a late night or something? What's going on?
No, not really. Well, I got just a little bit of a later night.
Did
but
you? Okay.
Ordered a delivery burger and watched a trivia show.
Delivery burger? What is that?
A burger that gets delivered to your
Okay,
door.
it just sounded like it was some new thing.
I know. I don't know. That is the worst thing to order though on like the ordering apps. It's like if the burger come like
'Cause
super
it's
soggy
soggy.
and everything, you'd be like, yeah, I wasted my time.
I did have someone from our good friends over on the other side of the country try to use my debit card, so I got a new
Yeah,
debit
that's
card
what you
now.
said.
Yeah.
That was fun.
You got tapped over in a different country.
They caught
man.
it, well, thankfully, but it's not great.
Well, at least you get a new one right away. You don't have to wait for them
Yeah.
to send it because that's a pain in the you-know-what.
It is. How much do they get you for? Try to.
It's like $30. I
That's
was like,
what
at
they
least,
do.
at least try to get your money's worth.
Your bank caught it, though?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to have an me in Virginia somewhere one time. It was like smack dab at midnight. It
Yeah.
was $1. It was $5. Then it
It
was
was
like
$5.
yeah, $30, and then they tried to hit me for like 70, and that's when they called. It was like it was back to back to back to back. So
Dang.
This was like $37.99, and it was at 2 p.m.
yeah,
But it was
Yeah,
somewhere in the
like,
Middle
come
East.
on.
somewhere in the middle. That's
I don't know.
that's tough right there.
615-737-1045. Jonathan Schaefer, how many times can we say big game until 10 a.m.?
That was once.
Oh, I'd put the over-under at 10.5.
Oh, 10.5.
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's like first hour numbers. I
Oh, wow.
We're
Rookie
already
numbers.
one in.
mean, it is a pretty big game.
It's a big game.
It's the
Sunday.
biggest game.
It's the biggest game.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you excited for the big game?
I mean, it's
Bro,
gonna,
you can't just like try, though. I mean, it's got to be a little more natural.
Okay, I tried that. Too. Okay, I'm glad you called me.
But
out
being a
on that
big
one.
idiot.
I'm gonna be a big idiot.
Eytan
Don't be a
Shander,
big
our
idiot.
our resident Philadelphia Eagle, his big takeaways for the big game coming up at 8:20 this morning. Don Davenport, Babs,
Yeah.
it.
Is she going to be up?
yeah,
Yeah,
Because those are long days.
9:20 in Phoenix.
I gotta ask him about the magnificent dinner last night.
I
Sabbath sent me a
saw
picture.
that
Oh,
steak.
was okay. Last night was the big dinner night.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
were they at, by the way?
Probably Maestro's.
Oh.
Oh, there's one out there too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is-
What I'm figuring out about Maestro's, all big time money
time,
city.
yeah. Is it in Scottsdale
I
then?
think so.
Wow, how did I miss that when I went a couple years ago?
Man, I don't know, but it's on your radar now.
Dang.
You going? I sent you a little
Yeah.
package thing. You got to figure out how to
Yep.
get. I think post offices have that. The
Yep.
bubble wrap for bottles.
Yep.
and that's what we got today.
Bubble
coming
wraps
up
for
next?
That's
bottles?
what we got today.
Bubble wraps for bottles.
Huh?
Huh?
I don't know. What
All
you're
right, go
saying.
ahead.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't go to college with Buck. I wasn't doing bottle service for most of my life so
Oh,
far.
God. I still don't get that whole
I'm here
thing.
for that.
Headlines from Phoenix coming up next. NFL honors last night. Hall of Fame class announced. Any surprises out of the awards given in Phoenix yesterday? Coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Oh my God.
It's Ramon Foster for Window Nation, and Window Nation has the coolest deal ever for keeping your house warm. Yes, that's because it's about to get back cool again outside, okay? But this one, you pay $0 down, make 0 payments, and get 0 interest financing for 24 months. That's 2 years, no interest. Plus, get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy with no limit. Take advantage of Window Nation's deep discounts while reinvesting in your biggest asset. Not to mention the energy savings for years to come. You can call 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. And this is the reason why Window Nation, too. You'll save up to 30% on your heating bills. And that's because 43% of your heating bill is heating costs, okay? Increase the value of your home by up to $12,000. You get a federal tax cut up to $500. And the reasons you may need new windows is because they're sticky, drafty, cracked, hard to open, or lock in when they close. You'll need new windows. Again, Window Nation has the best deals around where you pay $0 down, make 0 payments, and get 0% interest for 24 months. Call 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com.
Please stand for your national anthem.
Get me down.
Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all
down.
Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5.
When
The
you're
Zone.
at the gym, wipe it down. Wipe it down.
Wipe it down.
I pull up at the club. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to do it.
VIP. Gas tank on E.
And I'll drinks
Oh, that's
on me,
me.
my good brother.
And what are you going to do? Wipe me down.
That's right. It's Ramon,
gas
Kayla, and Will,
tank on
powered by
E.
all Four Seasons
That's
Garage
me.
Doors. Ramon Foster,
To
Kayla
a T.
Anderson, Will Bowling with you.
It was so fun in college life. Oh, my God.
Savage life.
In high school, I ran out of gas in the intersection up in my neighborhood,
Did
and I left the car.
You left the car?
I left the car.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll never live it down. My grandfather, the Marine,
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
who helped purchase the car,
Yeah. He wasn't too
he
excited.
had a fine talking with me.
Oh, no.
Fine talking. Ooh. That's tough, Kayla.
Yeah.
Never did that again, did you?
No, not that. I ran out of gas again, but
You stayed with the car?
Yeah.
Okay. Why'd you leave it?
I mean, I was 14.
Oh, is this the car you
No, I'm sorry,
took?
16.
I was going to say,
What am I-
wait.
What
I was
did I
gonna
say?
say, if you
There's
were
a couple,
14,
there's a couple
legally,
that's a
infractions.
whole different
There
story.
are a couple
Well,
infractions going
Wouldn't
on
put
here.
that past me either.
What?
I was 16. I had just gotten my driver's license.
Okay. Yeah. So you was more nervous about it than anything.
No, I just
probably.
needed to get to school.
Oh, goodness sakes. Did you ever run out of gas before?
Have I ever? No, I never have.
haven't either.
I've been super low on gas and never run out of it though.
Wow, that's impressive.
I recently, after this show, pulled into the gas station on 1 mile on my thing.
Wait.
Recently.
What?
Yeah.
Then where you just immediately went to the gas station?
You had
after?
what on your thing?
It
1
was,
mile.
yeah.
Phrasing.
Which was the amount it took me to run the other day before I got hurt again.
See, Shape told you about that. I think the reason I never ran out, my granddad's a mechanic, so he used to always be like, if it's at this line, you fill up and stuff like that. No, never ran out. Plus, if I was low on cash in college, I just hit up Ron and my brother.
Oh my gosh! See, you're lucky.
I was. I will not act like I wasn't.
You had an older
siblings, two that was professional athletes. I will not act like I wasn't
Yeah.
lucky. And I had a kid too. Whew. I don't know what I'd have done if it wasn't for them two. That's the reason. Whatever they need, I'm there for them.
No, I didn't have I didn't have a car for a while that just like told you how many miles you had left.
Oh, you had 1 mile left?
Well, no, I'm saying I didn't for a while until like I got out of college, I guess.
Oh.
Have a car that like specifically told you how many miles of gas you
I
had
see.
left.
Yeah.
So I would just never,
You would not know.
which of course, like, I mean, pretty much nobody did,
but there's a little extra in the tank,
yeah,
It is.
right?
It is.
That's
yeah.
what
If
I
you-
always rely
it's
on.
just not a risk that I ever wanted
I
to
get in
take.
trouble though, so I make sure it's above now.
Yeah.
Travis has gotten very mad at me.
He has.
Yes.
'Cause it breaks up your day when you got to go like on the side of the road. I've broken down before on the side of the road, big time.
That's not fun.
No, that sucks. It's called a flat. That's the reason I
I've
sold
done
my
plenty of
last
that,
car.
too.
I caught too many flats in it. I had those big rims on it. No, never again.
They were doing construction in the building I live in, and there's to like move back this rock wall, and so there were these like little sharp rocks all through our parking lot. I think I had 3 partially flat tires like in the last year.
Oh, that
Oh.
sucks.
It's not fun.
Oh, yeah, that
Not fun at
sucks, Will.
Yeah. So we're good now.
You're good now, though.
Yep.
Well, you heard the run flat stories I had with the car last
Oh my goodness sakes! This guy drove 100 miles on a
Yeah.
flat tire.
No, it wasn't. We got right to the city.
It was
and
more than 100.
That's
It-
worse than running out of
I
gas.
had to
bro.
run
Yes.
flat tires. But the thing is, I guess you can't stop with them. I had no idea. Like, so we stopped off that exit. Wildwood? What's the area up the street?
Rockwood.
No, not
no,
Rockwood.
Rockwood's close to Knoxville.
Oh,
You were
God.
still close to
We
Knoxville.
were close. Yeah, we were like smack dab in the middle of like Knoxville and Nashville for the most part. I think we was 45 minutes from the city or something.
Well,
And,
that's not halfway.
Well, we were real close to where it was far enough to where Uber couldn't get to us.
you're
Wreckers
45
couldn't get
minutes
to
from
us.
Nashville.
Yeah, exit 245 on 40.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And geez, let me tell you, I guess with run flats, you can't stop. If you stop, it deflates or something.
You're in like Watertown.
Yeah, that's
nuts.
what-
So
but
you
yeah,
could
yeah,
ride
yeah, I
on it
was.
for
You should have just
45
called
miles?
me. I was actually the closest one to
You
you.
were
That's
the
right.
closest, but like it was late at night. It was almost like 12 at
Ooh.
night then. Me
Oh,
and
yeah, I
Ron
was
was
asleep.
After the Florida game?
Carthage. That's where it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that far away from him, dog.
Yeah, I know.
So was it a rough 45 miles?
Oh my God, because we couldn't get anybody to come get us as far as wrecker services and Ubers or whatnot, because everybody was partying downtown. It was after the Auburn game last year.
Ooh.
And Auburn basketball game. And it was by far, the car had no spare because it had run flat tires. And I was just like, man, what the world? It was insane. No gas station, no nothing off the exit.
Dang.
You'd much rather it not have a roof than a
Gordonsville. Yeah. I was at the Gordonsville at the Shell station. That's why I ended up having to drive to it. And the car was just humping along. I was like, God, I'm going to tear up this friggin' bumper, man.
Terrible. Well, it was a good night for Patrick Mahomes last night in Phoenix.
It was.
Yeah.
MVP. Surprised that he got so many first-place votes.
I am, yeah.
48 first-place votes out of 50 for Patrick Mahomes.
Dang.
And the other two went to...
one went to Hurts, one went to Josh Allen.
Josh Allen,
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know who... Were they blindfolded this?
That's true, for real. Are we going to start to side-eye him going into this next season, though?
Oh, well, yeah.
He's got to
we
fix
are,
all
right?
that stuff.
Okay.
I wonder, though, if those extra votes to that for Mahomes... Now, when does the voting stop?
It's a regular season vote, isn't it?
It is regular season. I was going to say...
I'm not sure.
I'm just going off of if it is regular season. Okay. But that performance with his bum ankle, if you didn't think he's that guy, he is.
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick, 100%. That's the thing. I was
Russell
doing the same
here
thing
he
you were
goes.
doing.
Is he not paying attention
Man,
again?
Austin, quit texting us, man. It was Austin.
I
was
see
replying
that.
back to Austin. Okay, Austin Stanley. Shout out to him, okay? Stop texting us in the middle. You know we got a job to do. My phone's going to silent from the rest of the time I'm doing the show.
So it's your fault.
He was going to say Russell Wilson, I
us.
think.
No, I wasn't.
So Ramon wasn't paying attention, but he's blaming Austin for it.
I am.
For texting you, being your friend.
Facts.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, for being my friend.
Text us anytime, Austin.
No,
Look, he made it 11 years in the NFL being a master of deflection. He's carried it over to his personal.
I really have.
You should have been a
It's
nose
pretty
tackle. You would have been batting those footballs left and right.
I mean, legitimately, if it was a holding call on me, it was a deep. You missed that? I couldn't wait to politic it. But, yes, Patrick's that good.
He's just the guy. Good job.
You're a menace to society.
I am, and you enjoy it, sir.
48 first-place votes for Patrick Mahomes. Was not there to accept the award as the Chiefs prepare for the Super Bowl.
He was fresh, though.
What do you mean
His suit was fly that he had on in the video accepting it.
Oh.
It was super fly.
So is Sauce's. Sauce is always saucy.
Sauce Gardner.
That dude is an instant star to me. I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. If he continues on just to play the game, Sauce Gardner, legit. He's the new gold standard at the cornerback position to me.
Well, Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, when have the Jets actually drafted well?
And
they did this time.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Because that's a team if they get a quarterback.
Ooh. Well, they got one. They got the mom guy.
No, Zach Wilson is not the quarterback moving forward. Let's make that clear.
We're out on that one?
Their owner
Stacey's
was
mom.
talking to Diana Rossini on the red carpet about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Johnson.
And essentially said, I can't say anything about him, but of course you want to have, paraphrasing, you want to take care of that position. We'll see what happens.
Well, they hired Hackett as offensive coordinator, so they've made moves that if they want to make a run at Aaron Rodgers, perhaps they can.
I think that's happening.
And he also,
I really do.
Aaron also said he'd take a pay cut or he also got to come out of this depth chamber or whatever it is that he got to go in, right? The
darkness hole?
The reflection chamber that he's got to go into.
Don't get me started.
That would be huge, though, for New York to actually have a quarterback that can play. They got
This
a good enough
isolation
defense.
in darkness that he's spending time in.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's 4 days, right?
Who cares?
It's not the hut this time. It's darkness.
What would happen if the New York Jets made a bigger splash signing than the Knicks or Nets have? Well, I guess the Nets have with
I don't see any scenario of that.
There we go.
with Kevin Durant. But
he's gone, right?
I only say that. Yeah, I don't really care. Whatever. The reason I say
NBA
that is
guy.
Speaking
because
of,
I mean, look, you can turn around. You can turn around 3 times and throw salt over your left shoulder, and Kevin Durant will be on screen, or LeBron James on ESPN. But
oh my goodness.
basically, what I'm saying is, what will Stephen A. Smith's reaction be if the Jets make a bigger move than the Knicks have in the last 10 years? That's a first take I would tune in for.
Yeah, I'd listen to
I
that
mean,
one.
if you're a fan of basketball in New York, jump ship.
Yeah, definitely jump ship. They're on a hard reset. Well, at least the Brooklyn Nets are. I think Knicks are pretty solid, though, for the most part. They got to find one more piece, I feel
right
like.
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure there'll be some drama
Yeah.
that arises.
Other awards yesterday at NFL Honors, Geno Smith, Comeback Player of the Year.
Let's go. And I think people are mad. Some people are mad about this.
For what?
Do they want Saquon?
They're like, what is comeback player for him? Because he was on the practice squad?
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's a starter. He wasn't even supposed. They weren't even supposed to compete.
Oh my gosh, no.
Have we looked at the numbers? Like, this is a guy that became the starter.
Highest completion percentage, I think, of all quarterbacks this year. Geno.
Yeah, and he's been in the league for a moment.
To play the way he did after Russell was traded, was he the actual day one starter when it came down to it too? He was.
Yeah, because what's his name? I'm like drawing a blank.
The
Got
quarterback
hurt.
from Denver.
Yeah. Drew Lock.
Drew
thank you.
Lock.
All I can imagine is him rapping on the side. Sorry, it just
to
takes
the young
away from
Jeezy.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley deserved more than 4 votes for
I
Comeback
think so
Player of the
too.
Year.
But it's also what driven league though. It's a quarterback driven league.
That's the problem. Though,
Okay,
with
that's
these
the
awards.
problem.
The fact that Justin Jefferson can get the AP Offensive Player of the Year, but not be MVP.
But let's remember when Derrick Henry got the Offensive Player of the Year. The Offensive Player of the Year has become synonymous with non-quarterback MVP,
which is stupid.
Yeah, so anything that we're calling Offensive Player of the Year is basically you're the MVP that's not a quarterback.
You're the MVP that's not a quarterback.
Second most Comeback Player of the Year votes
is Geno.
No, second most.
No.
Second most.
Are you paying attention again?
I am paying.
He got first.
I didn't know where we were on the ranking scale. Geno got first. I didn't know this.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
He won the
Geno
award.
won.
Second
And then-
most. Now, it wasn't Saquon, which I think
Which you're
Saquon
mad
should have won
about.
the whole thing.
You think he should have won it too?
After the 2 years of injuries that he's had
Yeah.
and how
I know,
good
I'm
he
trying
was
to
this
think.
past year,
I'm drawing a blank here.
Christian McCaffrey,
That's right.
second most votes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
J.J.
true.
Watt got a vote for Comeback Player
No.
of the Year.
Mm-mm.
So I guess congrats to
No.
somebody in the Watt family voting for
happening.
JJ.
TJ should have got it for anybody. I didn't realize JJ had an injury last year.
Well, TJ was
JJ
out
had
though, for
injuries
this season.
every year,
Yeah.
Ramon.
Well, but TJ was out and came back in the same season.
JJ was a walking injury.
That's
after
very true too.
A good
And
portion.
a walking
of it.
soundbite at the same time. Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little shocked by
Buckeye?
that one a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought Parsons should have gotten it?
Hassan Reddick?
Really?
Or Reddick. I thought
Okay.
it was a big voting gap too on that one. I was just like, I don't know about that one. I didn't realize he killed it that well this year too. So it's deserving after seeing it.
He did a lot with his not like this goes into the vote, but he did a lot with changing his body even more,
Yeah,
his
that
diets,
matters.
and it helped him with just the speed in terms of getting to the quarterback just a little bit quicker. I
Yeah.
think his numbers were pretty solid this year. And
Lead sack getter, I think, this year too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the name brand of Bosa there to, I think, make the ultimate difference. I think Hassan Reddick had a pretty good case, too.
Real good case.
He was penalized by everyone else on the Eagles also having so many sacks, and that defensive line leading the league in quarterback sacks.
But Micah Parsons is a big name.
Yeah,
let's
he
not
is. You
let's
see
not
how many-
downplay that.
Yeah.
How many votes he got? I think, was it just one that Michael Parsons got?
There were a
If
lot
I'm
of
not
guys
mistaken.
saying that he was going to win it.
I thought he
I
was
think I
going
was
to win it
watching
too.
the NFL Network, and David Carr was like, he's going to win it.
It was almost like a dud that he didn't get that many votes this year. I was a little shocked by that one. And I think that's probably why I'm shocked why Bosa won it. But I think it was because Bosa won it with such a big gap between him and everybody else.
He finished second in voting, but did not have a single first place vote.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons. Nick Bosa had 46 first place votes. Hassan Reddick had 2. And then Quinnen Williams and Chris Jones each had 1.
Okay. Quinnen Williams had a monstrous year this year.
That
He
kid
grew
is
up.
so fun to watch.
It
and
is
he's
weird.
fun too.
The Jets have a solid young core right now.
Ooh, yes, they do.
And I like Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
I like Salah too.
I do too. He's kind of scary.
I know he get that frustrated face look all the time though. It's like, Robert, like, be cool, man.
I know
Before
that
you
feeling.
That's why, like, if you were Zach Wilson, like,
Yeah.
why'd you do the stupid things you did this year?
facts.
Like, can you not read the room?
Yeah. You know who Robert Saleh reminds me of? In 300, Xerxes, I think. You remember the guy
Yes,
with the chain?
he looks like Xerxes.
It looks like
Yeah, he does.
Xerxes.
You're right.
I've never put that together.
You're right.
He does.
He kind of looks like Vin Diesel.
I can
A
see
little
Vin
bit,
Diesel
yeah.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little smaller version.
Yeah, way smaller version.
What do you mean? Salah's probably bigger than Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's
You think
not a
so?
very big guy.
I heard
Is
that.
he one of the shorter guys
He's
in Hollywood
short.
too?
He's small.
Yeah, not like he's in great shape,
They
but he's
fool you.
short.
Yeah, they do fool you, don't they?
Him, Kiefer Sutherland, who's like, what, 5'5"? Jack
Well,
Bauer?
I met him
Is
at
he
the Opry.
really?
He's a little taller than that.
Yeah.
You guys,
Kiefer's
Robert
probably
Downey
5'7".
Jr. is so
Robert
Short.
Downey Jr.
So is Tom Cruise.
Oh, for real?
Tom
Like
Cruise
5'5".
is 5'5", I think, too, yeah.
I
Can't
was
relate.
looking at the show last night. John Cena was on. I don't think John Cena's that tall.
Wait, who?
I'm just waiting.
No, actually, he's actually 6'1". Never mind. Cena.
Yeah.
I actually
Your
thought he
Twitter
was
friend?
short. Huh?
Your
yeah,
Twitter
he's
friend?
everybody's
He's mine
very
too.
black. See?
I followed him back. I followed him and haven't got anything back yet.
All right.
Look at Will.
All right. Was going to do this as a surprise when you
What?
mentioned John Cena.
I know. I was
we
waiting.
we made a slight modification.
Oh, did we?
Oh.
Yeah, hold on one second.
This
Bowling! His name is Will Bowling!
my gosh. It happened.
Running back shame. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Bert?
Bask in it.
Bert.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Keisha
at
actually asked
Bert.
about that yesterday. He's like, "Are y'all really gonna do that with Will's name?" I was like, "I
Robert
hope
Walsh,
so."
the
Pretty
second
good.
best producer in the world now officially.
That's
His
incredible.
name is Will Bowling!
Oh, God. I love it.
Now you got your intro.
Feels good.
Look at that. Now
Feels
I need
good.
one.
You do. Rec can make you a dope one too.
We were
Shape's
talking
pretty
about
good.
that yesterday. We're still ruminating on that. We're still
Oh.
deciding what to
It's
do.
gonna
Lovely.
be epic then.
Really
I
excited
mean,
about this.
Wait a minute. We're just taking time to get the right one for you.
It's just gonna be epic. Yeah, Kayla, I can't wait to hear that. Well,
Let's say I
dope.
know what it's like to host 3HL now. This is great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
say that with the utmost love and affection, but
There you go. Oh, I love it.
615-737-1045, the number. This is great. This is great to have an intro. Great to have an intro. Robert Walsh deserves our praise and adoration.
He does.
He does.
That's
Deserves
my
our
guy.
Very
praise
talented.
and adoration. Hall of Fame class announced. Any surprises in a big group going into the Hall of Fame? Coming up next on our Bone, Kayla, and Will, 1045 The Zone. Hey, what's going on? It's Will Bowling here for my friends at Lee Company, and you already know the weather here in Middle Tennessee, changing from day to day and week to week, and at Lee Company, heating maintenances, they're in full swing. And Lee Company's expert HVAC technicians will perform a 22-point inspection and seasonal cleaning maintenance to keep your HVAC running efficiently and your home warm throughout this winter. And Lee Company is all you need at 615-567-1000. They've got nearly 80 years of experience, trusted in this community since 1944. They're open 24/7. It's convenient for you, and they've got over 950 vehicles in their fleet. We tell you all the time that Lee Company is all you need. They do so much to keep your home running smoothly, and they're going to keep your HVAC running efficiently this winter as well. 615-567-1000 is the phone number. They're online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need.
It's fine.
It's Friday, and we're going to act like it at Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Is this when he's like out of the car, like dancing?
Mufasa. Get him, Mufasa. Go, Mufasa. Go, Mufasa. I love it.
Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you. The Hall of Fame class announced last night. And am I allowed to say this makes me feel kind of old?
No,
I'm going to get shamed for that.
Absolutely.
No.
You're not allowed to say that.
You've just been watching sports for a long
Double
time.
I paused for a minute.
No.
Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware is the one where I'm like, you're ready for the Hall of Fame, aren't you? Anyway, Don Coryell, Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, Ken Riley, also selected. Ramon and Kayla, your thoughts?
Good names on here.
Really good class. Joe Thomas, oh my, we knew this was.
It's like about time.
Yeah, I know, right? More than anything, it's like, what about time? Seriously. For a guy that didn't have much happen good for him in Cleveland, I'm glad to see him get this because he was as good as anybody needed you to be at that left tackle position. I ain't going to say he changed it, but he really brought up the level of eyes that was on that position more because it's just like, you're so good, but y'all are trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, legit, get this man a quarterback that's going to actually use his services. He was good, man, and I'm glad he got his, finally.
And you said, too, before on this show, it is always a little bit tougher for O-line guys to be noticed just because they don't have the stats that you get from these other positions.
No. And it was good for him to be able to be in this position now as a Hall of Famer. And I think that honestly resonates more than anything, Kayla, because guy never had a quarterback, never had a real winning season, like that. And for him to be able to have this highlight of making the Hall of Fame because of his play, I thought was amazing.
Darrell on there, too. Like to see Darrelle Revis on there.
Yeah, Darrell. Awesome. I mean, you had a whole island. Thanks,
Right?
I've got two trivia questions for you.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let's hear
about
it.
Joe Thomas.
Okay.
How many quarterbacks did Joe Thomas play with at the Cleveland Browns?
I'm going to go 16.
Kayla?
Okay, I'm going to go 14.
Jonathan Schaefer?
13.
You're all wrong. Ramon was closest.
Good Lord.
20.
20.
What in the
20,
world?
Kayla. 20.
20 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He can name all of them.
Yeah.
There's a video of him naming all 20.
Yeah.
Two of these quarterbacks, I guess there's kind of three trivia questions. This is a two-parter. Two of those quarterbacks had double-digit wins. Two of them had double-digit wins while they played with Joe Thomas. Who are they?
Josh Cribbs. Was he a quarterback?
Josh Cribbs?
Yeah.
No.
I think he played some quarterback for him. Heck, he blocked for him. Let's go Johnny Manziel.
He did not have double-digit wins. He went 2-6. Started 8 games.
I don't even know who the other
Brady
ones are.
Quinn?
Brady Quinn went 3-9.
Oh, my God.
Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson, Jonathan
Derek
Schaefer.
Anderson, Oregon
Anderson.
State,
Wow.
shout out.
He had the most wins in a Joe Thomas blocked Cleveland Browns team. He had 16 wins,
Wow.
which is the most of any Joe Thomas
Brian
blocked
Hoyer.
quarterback. And Kayla gets the second.
Brian Hoyer.
He went 10-6.
Patriot.
Brian Hoyer
Yeah,
is
who's still
the only quarterback to have a winning record while playing with Joe Thomas at 10-6.
Which is not Joe Thomas's fault, obviously.
Oh, of course
No,
not.
It's not his fault.
I saw a stat yesterday that Joe Thomas never had a season below the wins above average. Wins above replacement average in the NFL.
that's
He
incredible.
was, quote unquote, above average in the NFL every single season that he played.
Facts.
He played for 11 seasons.
11 is the number, too, it seems like, for a lot of people. Somebody else just retired 11 seasons. I was 11 seasons. Marquise was 11 seasons. Like, it's 11. I wonder why that number is, like, guys retired 11.
It is a little interesting, isn't it?
Who
What-
recently retired? J.J. Watt may have been 11, if I'm not mistaken.
What would you do if you had to block for 20 quarterbacks different?
Kayla,
What the heck is that? I mean, because
got-
you never had to even remotely worry about that.
One
J.J.
thing we
Watt was
did
12,
say
by
about
the way.
Joe was it was 12. My bad. One
Okay.
thing about Joe Thomas, I'll say this, and rightfully so. Joe Thomas and Joe Hayden, I think they got into their mindsets. We're gonna go get all this money we can, and we're gonna try to get all the accolades we possibly can. Because you players know when you got a bad organization. Like kids know when they're on a bad team, or they know when they got bad teammates. Joe made it. I ain't gonna say about himself because he was a really good teammate, but the streaks that he had, the non-sacks that he was trying to get, and the way he put himself up on the pedestal, I don't blame him or Joe Hayden when you play for an organization that was like that. And I actually thought about going there as an undrafted free agent. I seriously considered them, which is crazy.
Dang, I thought you hated them.
I did. Well, the young rookie, I didn't know anything.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he stayed steady.
Yeah, it's crazy. You talk about 20 quarterbacks.
20
is unbelievable.
In 12 years.
Interesting list of guys who are available for the Hall of Fame next year, including one that'll make Titans fans very happy. Well, not really. Kind of. A quarterback who's younger than Ryan Tannehill. Andrew Luck is eligible for the Hall of Fame next year.
Is he eligible?
Yep.
Our guy Doug Baldwin up in Seattle.
That's right.
I don't think Luck is ever getting in, though.
Eric Berry.
EB.
Yeah, Eric Berry.
Eligible. Julius Peppers, Antonio Gates, who is a shoe-in.
Peppers is a shoe-in, I think, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brandon Marshall. Jamal Charles.
like
Haloti Nada. Jordy Nelson.
I don't think he'll get in.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Ooh.
I don't know if first ballot,
Special
but he may be first ballot.
Who?
As a kicker?
Janikowski?
No. Because he's a kicker. He's not getting first ballot.
Okay.
No. Definitely not.
Oh.
He may get
Representing,
in,
though,
but-
special teams.
You asked shocker, though. I thought Devin Hester was going to get in.
I thought so, too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so, too. Yep. I'm with you. Coming up next, we dive into more big game. Count it, Jonathan Schaefer.
Oh,
The big game.
look at you.
Huge
Will.
game.
Working it
Biggest
in
game.
naturally.
Really big game coming up Sunday. We're going to start our preview, and throughout the show today, we each give you X factors and keys for each team. And I've got a strange advantage that the Eagles have, one of the weirdest strengths that a team can possess in football that might come in handy in this one on Sunday. And the big game, the really big one, coming up next. Ramon, Caleb, Will, 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster for Secure Lawn. It's one of those companies that, they're family owned, operated, and they are local. So it's if you know, then you know, okay? Secure Lawn has been building up a solid reputation with Middle Tennessee homeowners for 20 years, offering neighborly advice and legendary service. And for a guy like myself, okay, I'll say this. I walk around my yard and I do look at the weeds that are around, and I care about it. I want it to be the best in the neighborhood. My wife tell me about it. My friends be like, hey, man, the grass look good. And I'll be like, I know. Well, that's because Secure Lawn will take care of everything you need them to do. Right now, it's time to be applying crabgrass and broadleaf weed control to your lawn, and they are the perfect people to call. They are Secure Lawn. There's nobody better. They don't make you sign any contracts. In fact, if you are unhappy with your service, they will do everything they can to make it right. And if you're still unhappy, they will give you your money back on your last treatment. And this is unheard of customer service. Everything that Secure Lawn uses is pet, kid, and environmentally friendly. So you don't have to worry about those dangerous chemicals hurting your family or pet family either, okay? They protect all types of grass and service residential, commercial, and even athletic field coaches. So get a head start on your yard and call Secure Lawn. Their number is 615-893-8455, or go to securelawn.com and be sure to tell them that Ramon sent you.
7:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. Patrick Mahomes won the AP Most Valuable Player Award last night at the NFL Honors Ceremony. He received 48 of 50 first-place votes. It is his second MVP award in his 6-year career. Justin Jefferson, Offensive Player of the Year. Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. Both from the Jets. Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie. Sauce Gardner, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Brian Daboll of the Giants won the Coach of the Year. Geno Smith, Comeback Player of the Year. Dak Prescott, Walter Payton, Man of the Year. Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware among the 9 people elected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Super Bowl 57, Westwood One coverage begins 1 o'clock on Sunday here on The Zone. Oklahoma and Texas have agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million to join the SEC in 2024, a year earlier than they had originally intended. The schools are foregoing distributable revenues as part of the buyout, so it's just money that they're not going to see. NBA, Minnesota at Memphis, 7 o'clock tip tonight. Tomorrow, Missouri at number 6 Tennessee. The basket Vols in action. 5 o'clock tip, 4:30 pregame. You can hear it on The Zone. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Into hour number 2 this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. A big show for a big game. Pretty big game in Phoenix. The Super Bowl 57.
My mic wasn't on. I was going to say the big game.
Wait, you got a button over there.
Well, I know, but he usually does not like me to go on earlier than I need to be.
Okay.
For reasons.
That's real.
With Ramon Foster.
Remain unknown.
That's Kayla Anderson.
Yeah.
Jonathan Schaefer, our producer, making the show happen and telling us when he wants us to start talking.
That's what I was waiting on right there.
In the world, I'm Will Bowling.
Oh.
Yeah.
And don't you ever forget it. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 104.5 The Zone.
We need to get John Cena on. We are Twitter friends now,
We
Ramon,
are
with
Twitter
him.
friends with John Cena.
Let's DM him.
I don't know how that's going to work on Zone TV.
Okay.
On Zone TV, you're not going to be able to see him, but you'll be able to hear him either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never see John Cena.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't see me.
615-737-1045 is our number. Keys to the game. X Factors coming up in Super Bowl 57. Our big predictions for the big game. But first, I've got a really weird advantage and a strength the Eagles have.
What's that?
That I want to get to. We're going to go to the phone lines first, though, to Eric in Nashville.
Yes, please.
Where you could join us, 615-737-1045. Hey, Eric.
Hey, guys, first of all, I just want to say I'm definitely looking forward to Super Bowl Sunday. I've got to be on my best behavior because I'm at my pastor's house on Sunday.
Love that.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. And this is going to be tough for me. I'm going to be cheering for the Eagles, even though I grew up a Cowboys fan, due to the fact because of A.J. Brown and Brett Kern, because I wanted to get that ring, guys.
Yeah.
But the one thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is the Hall of Fame. First of all, let me say this. I'm so happy for Chuck Howley. Guys, I can't comment on his career because I was too young when he played, but he was the only guy that won the Super Bowl MVP on the losing team, and he gets the Hall of Fame. I'm real happy for him. But I'm going to harp on this. He finally got in. I'm happy for him. But there's still another guy that's still not in the Hall of Fame that should be in the Hall of Fame is Ed Too Tall Jones. And the fact that he's still not in the Hall of Fame is totally, totally ridiculous, guys. I don't know if this has anything to do with this, guys, but I've heard for years one of the reasons why so few Cowboys players have gotten the Hall of Fame was because they got the moniker of America's team. And, of course, the Steelers were the team of the 70s. I mean, people felt like a lot of Cowboys players got punished for that, which I'll say this. To me, the players don't have nothing to do with that. Too Tall Jones deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to keep calling and saying that until he gets in. Guys, y'all take care, and we'll talk again soon.
I like that.
Look at Eric taking a stand.
As he
I'm
said,
gonna keep on calling.
Absolutely.
A tall stand.
A tall stand for Too Tall.
That's right. You can join us and take your shot as well at an X factor or a key to the game, 615-737-1045. So the Philadelphia Eagles have got to continue taking advantage of one strength while it still exists, because anytime there's one play that is so dominant, the NFL, is going to shut it down eventually. The Eagles need to raise the banner, win or lose in this game, as the QB sneak kings of the NFL.
Yeah.
They have gained 31 first downs on quarterback sneaks this season, including the playoffs, according to Pro Football Focus. To put that in perspective, this is from NFL.com yesterday. No other offense has 20 first downs on QB sneaks in a season over the last decade and a half.
Sheesh.
Nick Sirianni goes for it in 21 of 27 situations where the numbers suggest doing so by at least 1% in win probability. Andy Reid goes for it 7 out of 26 times in the exact same scenarios.
Wow.
Sirianni, bit more of a gambler.
Well, this also plays into their advantage. Remember our scout meeting yesterday?
Say that.
Teams go for it a lot on Kansas City on fourth down, and they give it up like 57% too, Will. So that's, interesting.
So if you're a little more unfamiliar with this Philadelphia team going into the Super Bowl, they are, I believe, going to still take the same risks in this game. And I think the most interesting matchup for me is not even on the field. It's how does Nick Sirianni go up against Andy Reid, and can he take down the guy that has so much more experience in the postseason and in Super Bowls? Andy Reid is 64 years old, wrapping up his 24th season as an NFL head coach. Nick Sirianni is 41 years old, wrapping up year 2. That 22-season head coaching gap is the largest in Super Bowl history, which is why I'm going to go ahead and give away the fact that I'm leaning Chiefs, even though everything I think on paper tells you to go towards Philadelphia.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm starting to lean that way.
I think I feel like the best team is Philly.
Yes.
We all agree with that.
Absolutely on paper.
On paper, yes, 100% correct. I just look at this and say to myself, Andy Reid is probably more of a wizard about this game. Lost the last time they were in this game. Patrick Mahomes lost the last time, in this game. And Sirianni, I think his aggressiveness might actually bite him in the butt a little bit. And that's probably one of my keys to it too, Will, is that ability to be super aggressive against a Kansas City team might actually be a detriment to them this weekend, simply because I think he's going to be too confident in his defense. And Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid together with Eric Bieniemy and Nagy, I feel like they have something up their sleeve for an aggressive defense. Like, he's so confident, Sirianni is, in that Eagles defense, it may actually be something that makes them lose the game. That's the way I'm looking at it.
And the point differential is, what is the line at right now?
1.5.
I think it's still 1.5, yeah.
It's just like everything, when you look at these teams, they're both so good at almost every position.
They are.
And then you look at the quarterback position, you say, who has a slight advantage? I'd say Kansas City. Then you look at the head coach.
Yeah.
Who has a slight advantage? Kansas
City.
Well, I'd say a little bit bigger of an advantage at head coach, just because of Andy Reid's years in the league and success in these moments.
I'd almost consider betting on this one right here. I'd probably go Kansas City win. But I don't know what kind of prop bets to even it out, though, because Philly is just that strong. To your point, Kayla, you don't know where to go with it.
I got a couple for you later in the show.
Oh, yeah. I knew. I kind of figured you would.
There we
go. I kind of figured you would.
And Eytan Shander, our guy from Philadelphia, who is always making me money on his Twitter account.
Maybe he'll talk us out of it.
Well, the first thing I have for him is, can you just go ahead and give us your card?
Right.
But essentially, you've got Nick Sirianni here, who needs to either commit to the fact that you're going to have to embrace the risk-taking and dance with who brung you at this point of the process, but not let the bright lights convince you to be even more aggressive. Because I see Nick Sirianni doubling down on the aggressive mentality that got the Eagles to this point.
You see him doubling down.
I do.
That's his personality.
That is absolutely his personality.
And I almost think that's what gets him sniped, too.
I think so, too.
Yes.
I think there's a moment in this game where he's going to take too big of a risk, and it's going to come back to bite Philadelphia.
Those fourth down conversions.
Because the Eagles are the better team.
They are.
They are the better team. But it doesn't really matter when you've got not the best quarterback and not the best head coach in the game itself.
If we're speaking about just projections for next year too, and I know it's probably a Monday conversation or Tuesday conversation, but who has a better chance of actually making it back again? Because Kansas City is up against it with free agents, and so is Philly too. If you look at these two teams, say, do they both run it back next year, or is it a different outlook on the team?
I think it's a good question to ask next week for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We've gone through the Eagles free agents. I'm interested I haven't really looked in depth at Kansas City yet.
Well, I know Zeus is up, Juju is up. I think they got one more wide receiver that's potentially up too. And it's a question of what they're going to do at right tackle at some point. Defensively, they're going to lose some pieces.
But how much easier is it knowing you just kind of build around Patty Mahomes? Like,
that's so
when
true.
you know, like we're here stressing like we don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation. We're just guessing.
Hell, I know. Heck, we got to answer that question
Seriously,
here in Nashville.
And that's the biggest key to sustained success in the National Football League is, do you have a quarterback that can raise the level of everyone around him, despite being paid so much where you can't afford to pay brand name wide receivers and tight ends and linemen. I trust Mahomes to do that more than I trust Jalen Hurts, because we haven't seen Jalen Hurts have to make it work with new faces that aren't paid like A.J. Brown.
Yep. Was it in here we had this conversation? Like, they got rid of Tyreek and still went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
think about that. Like, they one of the best wide receivers in the world, and they still went to a Super Bowl again. That's unique as ever, man.
But when you got Travis Kelce.
That's true.
Yeah, you essentially have the second best wide receiver in NFL playoff history, and he's a tight end.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce. He's second behind Jerry Rice in every category at this point.
Pretty critical.
Receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns.
Jeez. We didn't go through ours, who our pick'ems were as far as positions and stuff. Y'all want to do that in a little while,
What's the plan coming up next?
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Setting you up. Coming up next,
It's William Bowling.
Our X Factors for the big game. Our big players that you need to keep an eye on coming up at Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning, and we are thrilled to be joined by our friend Dean Glasscock of Arbor Art Tree and Shrub, your expert in trees and shrubs right here in Middle Tennessee. Dean, some of the trees are starting to bloom. We love to see it, and spring will be here soon. What can you tell us about what you guys have to offer to make everything look good?
Yeah, that's it. It's starting to warm up here there. I'm sure we're going to get some more cold weather that comes back and forth like it always does, but pick up the phone and call 299-9999. We want to serve you. We've got a 7-app program we offer now. We've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, and we're trying to build that up. We want you to call us. We do a great job of protecting the investment around your home, which is your landscaping. So, again, 299-9999. Been around for 29 years this year. We're really proud of that. So here's the deal. Our first round right now consists of a dormant oil spray. What is that? Well, dormant oil spray is going to kill and smother the overwintering eggs where the bugs will pop out once it starts to get warm. They've been waiting to get going again, and that's the cycle that starts. So we can help and get a big jump on keeping these pest pressures down around your home. So that's what we want to do. We want to serve you. We'll do you a great job. 615-299-9999. That's all I got. So here we go. Super Bowl weekend. Take care.
That is right. And he is your expert, Arbor Art Tree and Shrub. Check them out online at arborart.net. And like Dean said, you can call him as well. 615-299-9999. That's Arbor Art Tree and Shrub.
Simone, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Lots of big game discussion on a big show, on a big Friday. Look, I've gotten to the point, guys, of I'm no longer really excited for Sunday. What? I'm sad that we don't have football to watch until August.
But we got the
Sunday.
Draft.
Yeah, we do.
I
We
do
got
love
a
the
lot
draft.
of stuff.
It's so fun to prep for.
We also got Arena League and AFL and XFL
Yeah,
and
exactly.
WWE League.
Exactly. So we don't have football to watch until
What the
August.
heck are you talking about, man?
All these leagues, aren't they coming back this year? Which one is it? The Rock guy? XFL?
Yeah, XFL. They had some they had some good games and mixed in there.
You can get your doses in.
More importantly, Ramon, we have less things to distract you from your soccer teams.
That's so true, Will.
jeez.
That is true.
Are we all going to SC game?
Yeah, we're definitely
Of
going to a
course.
SC game.
Yeah, we'll go
Definitely going.
for sure.
Then make
we
it
gotta go
happen.
to a hockey game, too.
Yeah,
We need a show
make this happen.
a show night out, show day out.
Agree.
We've talked about this quite a bit that we're gonna pick like a Friday and like go get brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Today could be that day.
Could be.
I got stuff to do. I'm going to Preds
yeah,
practice.
that's right.
I
You
was just
got
going to say, I
press
could do
practice.
today.
You got press practice today. Okay.
Quit being responsible.
I know.
I'm so responsible.
What you trying to
I
do?
have been my whole life.
You a superhero around the city or something?
Yeah, abandoning a car at 16.
That's right.
Not at 14.
Not at 4.
Well, I was doing
16.
other stuff at 14. That's why when it came to mind. That's when the trouble started.
What?
What, the
At
hard
14?
drugs at 14?
What'd you just say?
Nothing?
The hard. Never mind. 14. That is a very crucial age, though. 14 is when stuff start to get a little real.
I was also
around
getting
here.
straight A's. So
Were you?
Yeah, I wasn't.
still was. Too.
sorry.
I wasn't.
You wasn't an A student at 14?
No.
Oh.
I was A's and B's. Like I was good. We're making it.
Oh, I was.
I remember when I got my first C
We were making
very
it.
well because I remember that conversation
Oof.
in the what was that in the Granny White Park parking lot very well after one of the practices I
A
had.
C in what?
That was one of the math classes. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that was algebra 2,
Eek.
and then from
That's-
there it was when I did chemistry.
Oh,
I
I
did a
hated
variation
chemistry.
of chemistry's
You're good at chemistry.
junior year. Chemistry and I did not get along.
I still
We did not
remember
have chemistry.
studying for chemistry. I remember where I was studying for chemistry like 5 days out of the week because it was such a tough class.
We did just enough on the exam, and we didn't have to take it in college, so we were good. But it was still not a good time.
I remember getting
Not
my
a good
first D in high
Oh,
school. Ooh.
in what?
In geometry.
Oh, that was a bad one too.
I got an
Honestly, I
F
was-
once.
You did get an
In
L,
math,
Shay?
Shay?
No, it was actually the video journalism course because I didn't turn the project in.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's just because you didn't turn
my
it in.
senior year, I did not care.
I got a B in
At all.
poetry
In the
class
towel?
at one point. Took poetry class at UT
You did?
because I was like, well, this is the least amount of additional reading that you have to do. Like, how long's a poem?
Poet and didn't know it.
But
No
then we had to
wonder.
read a lot of poems. There were a lot of football players in that class.
Oh
with me.
God,
I may have taken that too.
that
now
might
you
be
mention it.
that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
We had to make an anthology for the final. We didn't have a final exam. You had to make an anthology, but you could put like songs in it.
Yeah.
So I
That's what I'm
put
about.
like J. Cole in my
I
anthology.
was just gonna say he's a poet.
He's definitely a
legit.
But I like did the project wrong, so I got a B in the class because I didn't do like a table of contents, and that was the end of me in poetry.
Did you take anthropology at UT?
No,
That
I didn't
was,
have to do science because I did. I placed out of it with AP Chem in high school.
Okay. Small flex.
We're
right
such
there.
nerds.
We
Oh
are
no,
nerds.
I did geography class. That's what it was because you were like learned how to be a meteorologist.
Yeah.
In one of the classes I
Oh,
took. A lot of
I could
football
see you
players in
doing
that class.
that.
The anthropology class was at the stadium.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that one.
You,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
you had classes in East Stadium Hall.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Did you know there are classrooms in Neyland Stadium?
No.
Oh yeah.
Right underneath.
Well, that's cool.
Where the visiting team go at.
East side, South End Zone, and East Side.
Yep.
Was there like practice going on?
No, it was nothing.
Okay,
going
because
on.
I was like, I'd
Y'all
be,
didn't ever
I'd be
really-
distracted if that was the case.
Y'all didn't practice there much.
No, we never. Only time we did was at the spring game.
Yeah.
We had a big
Okay,
scrimmage.
you
there.
had,
They
obviously,
usually
yeah.
do like 2 closed door scrimmages in the middle of fall camp there now.
Do they really?
I feel like everything's closed now.
Oh yeah. Look, yeah, they're hiding state secrets. You know, we
I
could
think
put
so.
together nuclear bombs if we watched college football's
You
team,
say that,
teams
but they
practice.
do have
but-
that close to Knoxville.
Well, Josh Dobbs, when he was there as an
yeah,
aerospace
Oak Ridge.
engineering major,
Yeah,
which
Oak Ridge.
maybe you knew that he did that or maybe you didn't. But
And let's not forget the body farm.
that's true.
Yeah.
The reason Michael Orr didn't go to Tennessee.
Is it really?
That's true in the
that's
movie.
Not.
No, it is. That was
What
legit.
do you mean?
I hope
That was
so.
like one of the things that Miss Tui like told. Like that was like one of the things. Like they got bodies underneath the field there.
Um,
Legit.
What? No, did she told him that?
I believe so.
Well, I had Mike on his.
go?
I was actually his host on his official visit.
Were you really?
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
Yeah, me and Mike pretty cool.
Briarcrest Christian School.
Yeah,
Michael Orr.
Yeah, I know.
Also played against him at Briarcrest too. We played them in a Christmas tournament. Yeah, 100%. Mike, big athlete.
I saw him play when I was a kid, and my brother and sister's school. Like they played, games that I went to when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he nice?
Mike, super quiet. All Mike wanted to do, I think we went to go see. We walked in the theater to go see Saw. Mm-hmm. And at that point, he was like,
to see Saw?
Yeah.
What a movie.
Oh,
what a movie.
Yeah, I think that's what we went to go watch. That. And he didn't want to go party. He wanted to do. His decision was already made. He paid respect to come see UT.
Sure.
But Mike was already going to Ole Miss regardless.
You knew it.
And I knew it. He knew it. And man, I just gave him the recruit money that we get the per diem. He went back to the hotel, and I went out and partied. Yeah, legit.
Oh, that's the
I
worst.
was his host.
Yeah. No,
that's cool.
Yeah,
literally, the amount of teammates that I had would be like, "Oh, I got to recruit this weekend." And we'd be like, "Yes, all right. So what are we using the money for?"
Oh gosh.
But what's crazy, they didn't even give you that much money during those that per diem stuff.
What was it per diem?
You had
$70.
I thought it was like 40.
I think we'd get like 60. Yeah,
okay.
depending on how long they were there.
About 40. It was basically enough to get gas money, get them into a party or something like that, and if
I don't even know if that's enough to do that.
You feel me? This is 04, 05-ish. 05.
Yeah, inflation.
Yeah. So about 40 was cool.
Chris on Twitter chimes in and says, Anthropology under the stadium was awful. Those stairs at 8 a.m.
Yeah. I remember going. I actually had that class during summer, and I was missing like workouts and stuff to go to that one. Man. But that was also cuts last year in 07 whenever we went to the SEC championship that year. We were like locked tight that year.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Well, but back then too, and we'll get to our Super Bowl X Factors here in a minute, but back then too, when I was still running, and we would have 6 a.m.s and in like the warm days. Mm-hmm. So our coach would tell us, like, we're doing 6 a.m.s until it's cool enough in the afternoon to like get something genuine out of practice. Mm-hmm. And practice would finish at like 8:05.
8:05.
And they would, I think I've told this story before, they would like put you in the van and be like, all right, who's got class where? And put you in a van, and they would drop you off at your building for your 8 a.m.s. And you'd be sitting next to somebody like soaked of sweat and just like the morning dew of the grass in Knoxville. And people looking at you like, what have you been doing? And like, you don't look like an athlete when you're a runner. So you're just like sitting there like, what has this guy been doing? Like, why didn't you shower? And you're just sitting next to somebody like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Giving himself no credit over here.
But I never had any classes in Neyland.
I did. It was pretty cool.
Yo, I had a dream the other night, and I get these reoccurring dreams too. Remember I was talking about the GPAs and stuff, or like not getting enough credits? Now I've had dreams about getting lost on campus. Like, remember like the first day of trying to find the buildings?
Been there.
So then I had that dream the other night. Like, what am I, wanting to go back to college? Is this telling me something?
Oh, a good test dream is a not a fun one.
A good test dream?
A test dream of like, hey, you have to take a test, but you don't know what it's about and you haven't studied for it. I would get those every now and then.
Nah, worst dream you can ever have is when you're falling.
Oh, yeah.
Or when you're losing a tooth. That's a nightmare.
You went to the dentist yesterday. That's the reason you had that dream.
No, I didn't. But when I do have those dreams, I get really scared.
Did you go at, what time was your appointment? Was it at 2:30?
We got dad jokes, folks.
Perfect way to transition to back to sports and Charles, because
no, you know what that joke deserves?
What?
Yeah, it is. I knew that was the best way for me to transition back to sports, is you were all going to be silent because you weren't going to laugh at my terrible joke, and I could just take it wherever I want to go. There are a lot of X factors that we could go with in Super Bowl 57. Big jokes for the big game coming up on Sunday, and we'll start with Kayla Anderson on her X factor player in this game for either team.
My X Factor player for the Kansas City Chiefs is a guy who I've brought up lately a lot, who you would think is a wide receiver, but he's a tight end.
Okay.
And his name's Travis Kelce.
Facts.
Because Travis Kelce has really been that guy for Patrick Mahomes, not only throughout the season. He was targeted 152 times during the regular season. 51 more closer than that on the team, Juju Smith-Schuster. Mm-hmm. I mean, this has been Patty's right-hand man. And especially in the postseason, considering the fact that they've had injuries to that wide receiver core. I think Miko Hardman is out.
Correct.
So you're going to continue to have to rely on that, having Kelsey. And so for me, Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes, but you've got to have your guy in sync. And I feel like that's a big X factor for the Kansas City Chiefs.
My X factor player for the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep.
Did I take your thunder? I'll go pick another.
No, you're good. No, keep going. Keep going.
Thunder rolls.
You're good.
I didn't?
No.
I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes, too.
Okay.
I'm going to go because I feel like you got more on Pacheco.
Okay.
Pacheco's good. I've got a money stat on Pacheco later.
Okay, well, here we go.
He's not my X factor.
He's
so
not your X factor. I'm going to go ahead and
take
him. Okay, Pacheco to me, again, has been absolutely killing it. He's absolutely raised Clyde Edwards-Helaire this year as a rookie out of 7th round. He's playing with lawlessness as far as his runs. We heard, I think, Rhett speak about it. When he runs, he just goes. And the idea that he has to run through the teeth of this Philadelphia Eagles defense is where I want to see him being highlighted more. He doesn't know what he doesn't know right now. I can see this guy, if he gets 100 yards rushing this year, and Philly doesn't give up much in the rushing game, okay, they win this game. And Pacheco, to me, is something that they must watch because he's going to control the pace of the game more for Patrick Mahomes than Patrick Mahomes actually throwing through the air. If they can't get a run game, I don't know how good Patrick and Kelsey and Juju and everybody else is going to be. Pacheco, to me, has to be the X factor in this game against
you
this.
have to get some sort of a run.
He got to stay hot. And again, between him and McKinnon, again, we know what they are. They are a dynamic duo when you come down to it. But yeah, Pacheco's him to start with.
The Kansas City Chiefs had 826 passing yards on throws to running backs during the regular season. That ranked second most in the NFL. And according to the analytics of DVOA, the Eagles ranked 24th in pass defense against running backs.
Oh.
Yes, you can. And Isaiah Pacheco had 3 catches for 50 yards in the AFC Championship game. All of them were caught behind the line of scrimmage against the Cincinnati Bengals in the last time we saw this Kansas City team. Chiefs threw 10 touchdowns to running backs on plays inside the red zone, which was 3 more than the next closest team in the NFL this past season. I think that is a weapon for the Chiefs to use, specifically when you talk about the lack of mobility for Patrick Mahomes, because they're going to say that he's totally healthy and he's feeling better, as we saw with Ryan Tannehill in a similar injury. It only takes one bad hit, and all of a sudden, the ankle's barking again.
The restart.
I think Pacheco is a big-time weapon in this game because it's just the simplest way to get the ball out, get the ball in a playmaker's hands, and make guys miss in open space.
Yeah. I agree with that, Will. It's going to be exciting. Both run games are legit. But Pacheco, I'd probably almost take him in this matchup just because he's just hot and just too young to know how good he is right now.
My X factor is Jalen Hurts, guys, and honestly,
for the Eagles, yep.
Just in general, and
just
he's
overall.
my X factor for the whole game. Because I think in order for Philadelphia to still take advantage of the roster advantages that they have and hoist the Lombardi Trophy, they have to make up for the one disadvantage that they have on the entire roster, and that's at the quarterback position. I think Patrick Mahomes has a sour taste in his mouth. I think Andy Reid in this offense has a sour taste in their mouths of how the last Super Bowl game went for this team. And I think Jalen Hurts is just going to have to beat Mahomes. I mean, the 49ers are probably better across the board than the Chiefs were when the Chiefs won their one Super Bowl with Mahomes. Yet Jimmy Garoppolo at the end of the day made one too many mistakes late in that game, and it left the door cracked enough for Mahomes to win his first ring. I think Jalen Hurts has to avoid the big mistakes, and I think he's got to be not good in the run game, but great in the run game. The Eagles called a designed run this season on a league high 32% of third and medium, 3rd and 6 or less, or 3rd and 6 or 3rd 4 around that span. They gained a first down on over half of those runs, which is unbelievable. Of the 11 where they didn't convert a third down, they picked up 6 first downs still on 4th down.
Wow.
If you get Jalen Hurts into 3rd and 6 or less, the Eagles are good. The Eagles are completely comfortable staying a little bit more behind the chains than most teams because he's been so good running, and Miles Sanders has been so good running, and Kenneth Gainwell, and all the guys that they have, Boston Scott even.
Yeah.
When they get to 3rd and 6, staying behind the chains is easier for Philadelphia to do because Jalen Hurts is an eraser of those, what really many will consider 3rd and long. They still consider 3rd and medium situations.
They really do. And will also to have a defense that's going to, if you don't get that 4th down conversion, you know they're going to do a good enough job just to hold them to a field goal most times. Like that in itself is the ultimate like weapon that Sirianni has. Is okay, screw it, we'll go for it. What's this? What do you say, Will? The 4th and 6 or short or whatever it is. They go for it. I'm thinking to myself like, well, he got the defense. If you're going for it on 4th down, then you potentially have like good enough yardage that you can defend the long field for the most part. This is what you want in the team for both sides of the ball. I know special teams and Kern is there and everything, but like to have an offense and defense legitimately sync up at the right time, there's no better place to be at.
So essentially what that converts to, guys, when they call a run play on 3rd and medium, they get a first down 78% of the time.
That's impressive.
That's prime Derrick Henry numbers right there.
That's what I was just going to say.
Legitimately. And how many times have we seen the Titans and the run-dominant offense keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands and give the Andy Reid offense fits because they can't get in a rhythm on their own end of the field?
You want to know, I'm going to just go there real quick to you. I wonder why it works so well for them as opposed to the Titans not as of late, unless the numbers will or say that the Titans do convert more. But is it the idea that Hurts can run it, but they also have weapons outside that you got to not stack the box against Derek, or stack the way they do against Derek?
Well, and you're just, I don't know. It's a different type of, I feel like, run game, too, that they can rely on.
Do you think it's still just the weapons outside to where, look.
Because you've got that, and then you've got 3 different types of wide receivers that have 3 different traits. The speed, the A.J. Brown with the power.
Right.
I mean.
And just play calling, too, if we being honest about it, right?
Second most explosive plays in the NFL this year, Philadelphia. Well, Kansas City has the most, but
and that's the thing. The Titans don't have what's explosive for the Titans. I mean, there was a few.
Flickers.
There were a few this season, but that's always been an issue too. That you've always looked at and said, "Where's the big plays?"
So to Vrabel's credit, the style works. The running is very much prevalent in the NFL. It's a matter of how you dress it up. Is what seems to be the big issue.
You got to add accessories.
So watching the game Sunday. If Philadelphia gets to 3rd and 6 or better, they feel really good. 78% of the time, if they get to 3rd and 6 and they're running the football, they're going to move the chains. Kansas City gave up a first down on 14 of 15 quarterback sneaks this season, per Pro Football Focus.
Kansas City gives it up.
Can Chris Jones rise to the occasion enough to take away 3rd and medium runs? Because that is the bread and butter of what sets up one-on-one matchups for Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown as well.
That's why I think he's also could be an X factor.
Chris Jones?
Yeah.
Has to be, Kayla. Him and Frank Clark and Carlos Dunlap, too. They got to get after it this weekend.
More X Factors coming up next on the other side of the football in Philadelphia and Kansas City. Big discussion on a big game. How many times can we say it before 10 a.m.? Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon and Kayla for Old School Vapor. As a former professional athlete, I have aches and pains that I deal with almost every single day, but now I found Old School Vapor, and they are hands down the most knowledgeable when it comes to helping me get relief.
You are 100% right, Ramon. I agree with you because I need it as well. As soon as you walk in their doors, there's someone to greet you, guide you in the right direction, and this is what I really love. You have Zeus.
Yes, I do.
You know how pets, they can get a little bit irritated sometimes. Well, they have so many choices for your fur babies. If they have separation and or travel issues, even on the 4th of July with those fireworks, go shop Old Vapor's selection of over 200 legal CBD products from brands like Looper, Torch, Hidden Hills, and a lot more.
Do you use Elf Bars? Old School Vapor has over 100 authentic flavors for only $18.99 each. Check out their other sales like buy one, get one free on select select Escobars, 25% off glass pipes, and 50% off smell-proof bags.
And you can find them anywhere. Check them out on Instagram or just Google Old School Vapor to find your nearest location.
Well, let me tell you where they are, Kayla. Franklin, both ends of Spring Hill, Columbia, and trust me, there are more locations to come. That's Old School Vapor, and these products contain nicotine, which is an addictive chemical, and you must be 21 years or older to purchase, and no sales to minors.
104.5 The Zone on the road. Radio Row, Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks to Mitsubishi Electric. Our Radio Row coverage with 3HL brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric, who is proud to partner locally with MJ Frick Company. For more info, visit 1045thezone.com/events today.
And we will go to Radio Row via the phone lines in hour number 4. Don Davenport will join us. A little 3HL, Ramon, Kalen will crossover once again this morning.
Yeah.
Got lots of crossovers going on.
Oh, I heard like Allen Iverson.
That's right.
That was fair to
That was.
drop.
Somewhere
liked
Tyronn
that.
Lue just shuddered.
Oh, gosh.
And Michael Jordan.
Oof.
True.
Truth.
Additional X factors for the Super Bowl, guys. I've given really just. I just had one for the whole game.
Okay, let's hear it.
You guys, well, no, I already
No,
gave
he
it. That's
gave
what I'm
his.
saying.
You gave your
Jalen Hurts.
X factor, Jalen Hurts. I think that's very fair too. And we speak about Patrick Mahomes' ankle, his shoulder too in the run game.
That's right.
If I'm a defender, I'm doing an oil check on it.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's very strategic in how he goes about it too, though. You know,
Funny way to put it.
I mean, I'm gonna pop him.
True.
I mean, if I can, if he's a runner, you got all rights to fall on him. Then
I feel like he's got so much aggression he was never able to take out on defense.
who?
You.
I do too. I know, because he always lives vicariously through these games.
I do. I play
You love this game.
I do love this game. I'm gonna be real
because
with you. It's
the Chiefs'
beautiful.
O-line, speaking of factors, needs to neutralize that Eagles
They
pass
do.
rush.
And I'm telling you, if somebody played against a good bit of that defensive line, them dudes is real. My practice buddy was Cam Hayward and Javon Hargraves. I ain't gonna lie. Hargraves, when he came in, he had this, and he still does it to this day. We call him Jay Wobble. Wobble would do this and do a quick arm over. I'm like, you're too short to be doing a quick arm over. But it works. You got to get your arm over a offensive lineman. He's good, shifty, quick like that. Fletcher Cox going up against him. Man-child, okay? Really good dude, too. And then their outside rushers are legit. Kansas City has their hands full. I got no tips for Trey. I ain't not reaching out to him, but he got to have his mind right.
Well, and remember when Mahomes was pressured with Tampa Bay, I think 44 times in that loss to Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you shake up Patrick Mahomes, you can get him off.
The thing he does have, he's got 2 young studs at center and guard now, and they also got Thuney, however you say it. Thuney. You have him at left, and you also got Zeus. Slightly worried about Orlando Brown Jr.
Yeah.
He jumps out of his set sometime instead of just athletically kicking back.
He's long.
At
tackle.
He's somewhat lumbersome in how
You're
he
not
sets.
impressed.
So
As a left tackle,
how does Hassan Reddick's skill set benefit or hurt him against Orlando Brown?
he's crafty.
Okay.
You saying how does Hassan Reddick's?
Yeah, how does Hassan Reddick go up against Orlando Brown? What's the strategy for beating him?
Speed.
Okay.
100% speed.
Because he's a quick guy off the edge.
Very quick. Long arm, long body guy, too. And also sweat, too. Like both of them. If I'm them rushing up against him, I'm using my arms, getting around him. I'm making him cross his feet over. Mm-hmm. That's where I would be. I'm challenging his footwork.
What about Brandon Graham?
Brandon Graham, this is a bullet of just power. Brandon Graham is strong as ever, man. He's low, good leverage. He's going to bend tremendously. Like, they should just swap sides and keep the offensive line confused. That would be my tactics against this Kansas City offense. He also, rushes inside, too.
So did you prefer just having one guy to go up against, or did you like it when they switched a little bit because you're like, oh, thank God, that guy was getting my number. Okay.
Give me one guy.
Okay.
And
even if that guy's kind of getting you a little bit?
Yeah, because because that's the thing, too. You adjust throughout the game.
Sure.
You got me right there. I'm going to get you right here.
Yeah.
And I would find my spots and where I choose to beat him up a little bit. Like, hey, Pounce, I'm going to hold him up. You come hit their ribs.
What's the talk like in the trenches in a game like this?
In a game like this? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. For one, you probably not going to say much at all in the beginning stages of it. The D-line is usually very chatty in the beginning. But then once the nerves settle down, it's, hey, let's set them up. Let's go get them. Like, it's those – the chat is more or less like – I can't say it on air. It's just real raw.
I was just dreaming.
It's real raw. Like, Paul and Allison going to come up here and it's like, Ramon, get your bags. You got to leave the studio.
Back up.
Yeah.
But you did kind of paint the picture if you can't say it on here.
Oh, my gosh. There used to be times we tell, hey, the play coming right here. You bleep, stop it. You can't. We're going to, hey, you. We're running the same play again, just so you know it.
Well, when you threw up in front of your boss, then you kept your job. So you'll keep your job down
true.
to
100%. That's very true. Can we have alcohol on the premises still? Easy. But it gets real messy in between the lines too a little bit. The worst thing about it is, you ask me, would I rather have the same guy? The backups are usually your worst competition or your best competition, because they're trying to overprove to their coaches they belong, and you don't know what they're going to do because many of them don't have much film. Mm-hmm. You might be able to pick up their primary move, but nobody really knows what the secondary move of the backup is. So that's where they can really get you off your game plan a little bit.
There you go. Coming up next, we're all going to give in a segment of our own keys to the game for each team coming up over the course of the show. And Kayla Anderson bats first today.
Man, I just shared all mine.
Keys, X factors and keys then.
Okay.
I got keys to the game. I like it.
I kind of just share, but I'll do it.
Yeah, we can rehash it. Yeah. New hour every hour, baby.
We'll get into the headlines as well out of the SEC yesterday, as Texas and Oklahoma put the SEC in secede for the Big 12.
$100 million.
That's coming up next. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
If you have a wet basement or crawl space, it's time to call United Structural Systems. We've all heard about these guys for a long time, and for good reason. That's because they've served Middle Tennessee since 1994, and they've helped thousands of satisfied residential customers. They are the go-to company when it comes to foundation repair and waterproofing. And if you have a wet basement or crawl space, you don't have to put up with that. Water intrusion and moisture can give you all sorts of problems down the road, and you want to get this fixed. It can be because you have poor drainage or surface water flooding over the walls, or underwater pressure forcing water into your basement, or it can be because you have a plumbing leak. You just don't know. But the team at United Structural Systems will find out why you have a wet basement or crawl space and will give you a plan to fix it. And if you do decide to move forward with them, you don't have to pay a dime until the work is done and you are satisfied. So get that free estimate from the people I trust. Go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com. Or you can call them at 615-227-2275. United Structural Systems.
media station.
Get Westwood One's coverage of Super Bowl 57. Coverage starts Sunday at 1 on your home for Super Bowl 57. Trending now at 104.5 The Zone.
8 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. Patrick Mahomes won the AP Most Valuable Player Award last night at the NFL Honor Ceremony. He received 48 of 50 first-place votes. It is his second MVP award in his 6-year career. Justin Jefferson won the Offensive Player of the Year award. Nick Bosa, the Defensive Player of the Year. Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, both from the Jets, won the Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year awards, respectively. Brian Daboll of the Giants won the Coach of the Year award. Geno Smith, comeback player. Also, Dak Prescott, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Rondé Barber, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware among the 9 people elected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Super Bowl 57. Westwood One coverage begins at 1 o'clock here on The Zone. Oklahoma and Texas have agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million to join the SEC in 2024, a year earlier than they had originally intended. The schools are foregoing distributable revenues as part of the buyout. So money they were expecting, they're just not going to get it. To the association, Minnesota at Memphis, 7 o'clock, the tip for that tonight. Tomorrow, up at Rocky Top, Missouri, at number 6, Tennessee, against the Basket Vols. 5 o'clock tip, 4:30 pregame here on The Zone. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, hour number 3, rocking and rolling on the Friday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all 4 Seasons Garage Doors. Happy you're here.
Yo.
Wherever you're listening in the Music City and beyond, watching on 104.5 The Zone TV, listening later on today or this weekend.
Yeah.
On the 104.5 The Zone Podcast Network with Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson.
Oh.
Say my name. Yeah, you do.
Ramon.
Thank you, Shay. Shout out to Rhett B for making that, too.
The best producer of Titans Radio in the world.
Of Titans Land is what that is.
We have the best producers in the world who contribute to this show.
We have a lot of good ones.
That's Kayla Anderson. That's
I don't have
Jonathan
anything.
Schaefer.
I've got
We're working on it.
Kick me out.
We're working
Kick
on it.
me out. I have no cool intros at all.
Easy.
The day.
Just that blonde girl on the show.
Young.
That blonde.
Look at Kayla. She's really diving into it now.
Yeah. That blonde from the West Coast.
You'd use that one. I don't think you want that.
We found Kayla's new introduction.
We did find it.
With 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster and that blonde for the West Coast, Kyla Anderson.
Do not say Kyle, I'll smack you.
There we go. Save that one too, Shay.
There's just so much violence we can work into and open for her.
Perfect.
It is.
I'm Will Bowling.
Oh, my God. Oh.
That's awesome.
You can't see me, but you can hear me weekdays from 6 to 10 on 104.5 The Zone.
Heck yeah.
Why does that make me laugh every single time I hear that?
Listen to Bert in the background right there. That's good.
You want to know why it makes you laugh? Just listen to the first 2 seconds.
It's Will Bowling. I can just see him recording this too, like his facial expression.
Just closing his eyes.
Yeah.
His name is Will Bowling.
Exactly.
His name is Robert Walsh. I love that guy so much.
Back to the shadows.
Back to the shadows. I don't know. There's part of me that sounds like a 1940s baseball play-by-play announcer whenever I do Buck.
That's because that's who you are, Will. In your soul, at your core, you are Brockmeyer.
As here's the 2-1.
I know, right?
Swing and a miss.
Is that still on, Brockmeyer?
Nah, that was only like 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay, I did watch it. Just didn't know if it was still on.
Hi!
Look,
Harry Carey.
Well, I did
I don't
watch
think
it.
Will would be drinking bourbon.
No, personality-wise, it's the
Yeah.
complete
Yes, I would.
opposite.
Yeah. May not be drinking bourbon while
Oh,
doing
he
the
is
shows.
a bourbon sipper, though.
Yeah, but Will's not a lush, though.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Brockmeyer's definitely a lush.
Brockmeyer was also promiscuous. So.
I'm Brockmeyer.
What is Brockmeyer? What are we speaking
Oh,
of?
It's a show.
It's so
It's a
funny.
show?
So
Yeah.
the character is Jim Brockmeyer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just this degenerate, washed-up
Yeah.
play-by-play guy for baseball who was calling like rookie league ball or whatever.
Yeah.
But it basically just tells of his exploits and his attempt at redemption.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's great.
okay.
It's great.
It's great. All right, so check it out then, Will.
Yeah, in the core of my soul, that is part of who I am. But it's okay.
All of who you
You
are?
love me anyway.
Okay, say less then.
I think. I hope. 615-737-1045. Eytan Shander coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll get the report out of Philadelphia on his feelings on Sunday's
Yeah.
big game. It's a pretty big one.
Interested to hear.
I feel like this maybe this I overestimated the comedy in this bit of how many times we can say big game.
Oh, you
Maybe I'm
gotta say
not.
big game anyway.
Yeah, big game.
It really is, though, a big
Yeah.
game.
What's on Sunday?
The big game.
It's the big,
big
game.
game?
Yeah.
Don't you dare say anything else. It's the big game.
We got to pay to say the other words.
Big game 57. Or
Big game.
I think we could
57?
get in
between
trouble
big
if we
games
said
50 and 60.
Oh.
the
No,
other
it's if you
word.
say it with a sponsor attached to it.
Oh.
That's not an official sponsor of the NFL.
Yeah, because I've been saying it in my update because we're going to be carrying Super Bowl 57 on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, the big game.
The big game.
Huge game.
Colossal.
Ginormous.
Huge.
There'll be a lot of people picking up new hobbies after the big game.
Speaking of the big game, we have Danny in the Borough.
Jeez.
Who's wanting to talk about the big game?
The big one. Not the little one.
Which
Big
one?
game.
You don't want to talk about the halftime show? Or just the big game.
Good morning, Danny.
I want to talk about Rihanna. Let's go.
I'm here for it.
Oh, hey, real quick. Speaking of Rihanna, we were having that debate on Buck's show
Yeah.
yesterday: Beyonce or Rihanna.
Yeah.
And I might have to recant my statement when I said I'm going to go with Beyonce. The wife and I had a couple of beers last night, and we dove deep into Rihanna's catalog, and she's got some bangers, man. You got to watch out for
Yeah.
Riri.
Porque no
I
las
know,
dos.
right?
Why not both?
Still
She
can't
does.
get an album, though.
Forgot about some of them, man. It's not that she's the feature; everyone else wants to be on her tracks, Moan. That's what it is.
That's true, but Beyonce is just, geez. I mean, come on now,
But
Danny.
Riri's got that like Caribbean style.
She's Trinidadian. Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. Like, come on,
I'm
y'all.
not trying to down Beyonce. I'm not
No.
trying to say anything bad about her, but man, Rihanna's catalog is deep.
Well, I'm glad you
just gonna
said
say
that too. Okay, I can get with that then.
All right then.
Okay,
Well, so I
we're
just wanted
same
to toss
page.
out a couple of keys for the big game.
Okay.
No sponsor attached. So for the Chiefs, I gotta say I feel like Valdez Scantling, he
Yeah.
might be the real X factor there because I go back to the AFC Championship game, and the only time the Bengals had success covering Kelsey is when they put him in that bracket coverage that's been so successful against Kelsey historically.
Yep.
From all teams, not just the Bengals. But when you have that extra drop coverage guy bracketing Kelsey, MVS made some incredible plays in that game, including that touchdown right before the half. I mean, the guy,
Yep.
I feel like he might be the X factor there for the Chiefs. And another receiver for the Eagles. Listen, the Chiefs have some pretty good defensive backs there, but they don't have the size and the strength that A.J. Brown does. And if he can really get into that physical style of play that he is known for, I think that he might have an MVP level performance in this game. And if he gets 100 plus and a touchdown, I don't know that the Chiefs are going to have enough to cover the rest of the weapons that they have there. Devontae Smith is going to get open. If A.J. Brown is doing his thing, there's just a lot of firepower there. Those are my X factors, man. It's those two receivers, MVS coming out of the two hole, and A.J. Brown just doing his big physical things, guys. Hey, I appreciate y'all's time. Have a good weekend.
Very
Thanks,
solid,
Danny.
Danny.
Appreciate the call.
Wonder what Danny placed in his bet set this weekend then. Man,
Should have asked him.
MVS did have a solid game against them in the AFC Championship.
Really good.
Yes, he did. There's weapons everywhere with these two teams. It really does. If you got a team that's teetering on like 500 or just taking the next step, we can be real with one another in here, right? Kind of makes you a little jealous.
Did you just squeak? You sounded like a
I
mouse.
did sleep because I was just like, I don't even like to use the jealousy word, but like when you see these two teams and how good they are and what they have, like you get football jealousy with this thing. I saw Will just shake his head right there like a dog,
Shivered.
man. You shivered because you want those things,
So
don't you?
there's like, it's like the gold standard.
It is like the gold standard right now. Oh, and who's closer to him? Cincy, Buffalo, 49ers still.
As far as weapons go?
Just weapons and teams that
Cincinnati.
are like
Still say Cincy.
No doubt.
San Francisco, Purdy is good. That's crazy. We're saying Purdy's good now. Mr. Irrelevant.
Well, I don't know if he's their starter
Yeah,
next year.
Purdy's out 6 months at least.
Yeah.
We don't know what it'll look like after that.
But we still don't know what Trey Lance is either.
I know.
I'm still a Trey Lance believer.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to give him a chance.
Yep. I'm with
If you're him,
Right?
would you? Okay, let's say this. Let's just talk about the differences in draft picks too. If Trey Lance is a third rounder, I don't even think we're having this conversation.
I think you might be right on
No,
that.
definitely not.
You see what I'm saying? Like, Will likes him, and I'm okay with this stance, though, too, because of the first round tag to him.
Well, but you earn the first round tag, though. Like, you don't just get picked because, like, oh, it's just, I guess it's our turn to pick Trey Lance now. Like, he's a first round pick because he has the tools and the ceiling of a first round quarterback.
Okay, we thought that about Zach Wilson, too.
Yeah, we did.
And that showed otherwise not true. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He also did some stuff that made the team not very happy in the leadership.
But what I'm saying
department.
is the two guys, same draft class, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Same issues. Like high first rounders on a non-judgmental year.
Not a surprise.
You see what I'm saying? Like he's out. And I'd almost look at Trey Lance in a sense like, well, you haven't really proven it to me. A guy that was in your draft class proved that he wasn't him early on.
Yeah.
So
Trey got
almost,
hurt, though.
I know, but I'd almost still put Purdy first in that matchup over there as far as like who I'm choosing to go with.
Right, but if injuries hurt him the first time around, now
Yeah.
the injury situation helps him.
Okay.
Because injuries, like Zach Wilson lost his opportunity
Yeah,
by
'cause he was
literally
being-
fumbling it and intercepting it away,
And
throwing
then
it away.
acting like an idiot.
Trey Lance hasn't even had the opportunity to lose the job.
He just got hurt.
He was Wally pipped there for a little bit, and now he's got the opportunity to put the shoe on the other foot.
Let me just become a real sicko real here.
You may.
Is that the same thing, same way we're going to feel about Caleb Farley too then?
Caleb Farley's a different situation because he had chronic
different.
health issues coming into his NFL career.
But there's been
Two back
you can't.
surgeries, right?
It's
Coming
been
in?
back-to-back injuries for Trey Lance though too now.
Yeah, but you're talking about apples and oranges when it comes to like yes, it counts against him now.
Yeah.
So you're in similar situations, but you can't compare. Caleb Farley's a unicorn when it comes to the risk you had to take in picking him when you did was because of multiple injuries that were concerning and a red flag going in. Trey Lance didn't have those red flags going into his career.
But Caleb also had a chance to play this year, and he couldn't. He couldn't get to that level. Like other guys were playing over him.
They both had the same situation to me. And I know I'm being very just mischievous with how I'm going about this, but I'm saying the exact same thing. Why is he going to get more grace than what Caleb Farley is? Like both pretty much have played around the same amount of time, and most people here are over what Caleb Farley is as a first round draft
How many
pick.
games did Trey play this year before he got
3,
hurt?
maybe 2.
Okay, how many games did Caleb have a chance to start in before he got hurt? A lot more, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, he had
it was
more
a good
than
chunk
that.
of the season, Moan.
But he had a longer list of injuries coming into his NFL career than you could have ever expected from Trey Lance. Trey Lance now also has had like a freak leg injury.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, Caleb Farley was mostly healthy too. Until he had a freak back injury again.
Right.
He did
but he had
ACL
those,
last year.
But he had those coming into his career. It's not the same situation.
My knock on Trey Lance is we didn't know what Trey Lance was until we saw him do cute combine throws and whatnot.
No, you're not wrong on the over maybe reaction a little bit.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, this is my point. Trey didn't have a big chance to prove himself as a starter this year because he got so hurt early on.
Hurt 2 years in a row.
Right. And I get that part of it. Caleb this year was healthy for the majority of the season and could not get in there. Right? And that was
fair. Yes, that's true.
That showed that he was not at the level yet of being able to play as a starter or play that many snaps because they had seen that the growth wasn't there.
Let me put my undrafted free agent hat on real quick too. I say all that to say, first round quarterback versus a 7th-round Mr. Irrelevant, he's going to get more grace because he holds that tag. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy has overproved himself to be capable of running that offense. And I think at some point, the 49ers may consider moving on from Trey.
And not just a
that's the point
first
you're
round
trying to
draft
make.
pick. They had significant draft capital in order to trade up to get him.
So you're saying Trey Lance he went too high?
I ain't going to say he went too high, but I'm saying I got a guy that's proven that we win big time with him. and even had some of his teammates say, I'm going to bet my entire house on the Kansas City Chiefs to win because if we had Brock Purdy, we were going to win the Super Bowl.
If Purdy didn't get hurt,
yeah,
I'd say it's more of a bet that they just are like, sure thing with Purdy. But
that's
now
what I'm saying, too.
NFC,
that's where you
this is
get
a
a
good
little
conversation to
complicated.
break down at some point. Okay.
Coming up next, our friend Eytan Shander joins us from Fox 29 Philadelphia and OddsShopper.com. His feelings and confidence level in his Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll ask him the question that we've been discussing throughout the week. Outside of quarterback, are the Eagles better at every position over the Chiefs? We'll get Eytan's thoughts and what concerns him the most about Kansas City next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Friday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will is powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, a 104.5 The Zone. With Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. Jonathan Schaefer making the show happen as we go to the Marks Payne Real Estate Hotline and check in with our good friend Eytan Shander from Fox 29 Philadelphia and OddsShopper.com. Good morning, Eytan. How are we doing?
Will, Ramon, Kayla, Shafe. I'm doing fantastic. How's everybody?
We're good.
We're great, and we're going to start with the hard-hitting questions that many have discussed on this show, and Jonathan Schaefer with the music reminds me to bring this up to you as well. Rihanna or Beyonce? Woo. Simple as that.
I find myself gravitating towards Rihanna more than, and you can define gravitating any way you want. It's radio, it's theater of the mind, but I find myself gravitating towards Rihanna more than Rihanna. Look, you're asking me Jordan or LeBron.
That's
you're
right.
asking me, right? So it's very difficult. And the worst part about this, and shame on you for putting me in this position, the worst part about this is that I have to, in order to say why I like one, I have to come up with something negative on the other.
That's right.
Even if it's like, well, she just does this a little bit better. So give me Rihanna.
I like it.
Perfect. We'll save the Jordan-LeBron debate for when summer sports talk lays
I'm hanging up, Will. You asked me that question. I'm hanging up.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Tom, that's crazy.
Oh, geez.
You pick Rihanna because Beyonce tickets to her concert are like $4,000 each, man. Come on, that's legendary, dog.
Well, you're right. You're right. I can't afford Beyonce. You're right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We got Beyonce at home.
You got to worry about the Bills that Beyonce was singing about way back in the day. Anyway, seamless transition. Eytan, what is your confidence level in this Eagles team, and has it changed as the lead up to this week has gone on over the last couple of days?
All year, I've been very hesitant to call blowouts or big wins just because the NFL is a crazy beast, right? Ramon knows that it's tough to just stay up on the league week in and week out, especially if you're new to the league like this Eagles offense and Hurts and everybody is, two defensive coordinators. It's not normal to just dominate like they have. To that point, the two most confident games that I've had so far right through this Sunday, the Giants game in the playoffs, just because they match up incredibly well with New York to the point where it's just there was really nothing New York could do, even if they were up by 10, to hold that lead, let alone if they were down by 10 or 14 points. And it's this game. Look, nobody knew Brock Purdy was going to get hurt. I'm tired of the 49ers, like I'm sure a lot of people are tired of the 49ers doing their media tour. But this game and the Giants game, I am super confident. I bet it already. I put it out there. I'm speaking it into existence. 31-17 is how I see it. I just don't know how the Chiefs offense can keep up with the Eagles offense. And really, what are we talking about? Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. That offense isn't what it used to be outside of those two guys. The Eagles have done a decent to good job on Travis Kelce when they faced him. I just think the Eagles are the better team, and the confidence level is crazy as it sounds, through the roof heading into this game.
Oh, Eytan. Okay. All right.
I told you he'd sway us a little.
You did. Okay, so this is the argument.
Ramon, I got the ace up my sleeve. You wait. I didn't even drop the ace yet, but I have it coming for you. In case you're still on the fence, I have it coming for you.
Okay, well, let me drop this real quick then. Okay, I think it's hands down Philly's the better team. My question to you is, as we went through it earlier, Sirianni gets a little cocky about how he goes for it on fourth downs and just everything else, right? So do you say he get too cocky in this and the better coach, Andy Reid? I'm going to say Andy Reid is the better coach in this matchup. Does better coaching win this game over your Eagles?
I don't think better coaching wins the game. I think risk-taking wins the game. I think you're looking at two gunslingers in the mentality of, you've got a head coach, offensive coordinator combination in Kansas City that does whatever the heck they want because they know Patrick Mahomes can do it. I mean, they're running the Arctic Circle. They're running, flip passes. It looks like, the old white chocolate Jay Will out there. Mahomes is throwing stuff behind his back. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw a pass under his legs on Sunday, right? Like, they just do whatever they want. But to your point, yes, Nick Sirianni, brash. He pushes it. He's doing stuff that's unconventional. Why? Because he's got the other guy in the NFL that you can do whatever the heck you want with, knowing that you have a safety blanket. So I think this is like two old school gunslingers, like Old West gunslingers, and it's that moment before, the hand is twitching right on the gun before they draw, right? And it's like, who's going to take the risk first, right? Like, who's going to take that risk? So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a low-scoring first quarter, and it's kind of like Nick Sirianni is a little uncharacteristic, not going for it on fourth maybe early on, and Reed is doing the same thing. But at some point, somebody's going to draw. And it's going to be a risk. It's going to be a flea flicker. It's going to be, a Philly special. It's going to be something out there where you're like, wow, I can't believe they ran that in the second quarter. That is where I think could be the difference. But you're right. Reed's the better coach. Reed's been here. Reed's won. If there is a major mistake to be made, I think Sirianni is going to be more prone to make it. I just don't think he makes it to the point where it kills the team.
Okay. And just to address our crowd here, too, you guys have gone to another Super Bowl within the last, 4 years, 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
5 years. Eytan, how do you craft up a roster, team, coaches, players to get to this point right now that you're playing in another Super Bowl?
The biggest thing is Jalen Hurts. They found not only a franchise quarterback, they found a leader. They found a rock. They found somebody who, I'm telling you, think about this, right? Like, I'm speaking to everybody, but I'm speaking to you as a former player here. You're a 10-year, multi-double-digit veteran. You're going into the Hall of Fame as one of the better centers that ever played in Jason Kelce, or Lane Johnson as one of the best outside tackles the game has seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And you are immediately captured by the presence of this young man as a leader, not as a football player, but as a leader. That's what we talk about when we're talking. And I know I'm going down this road too early, but this year, if you just look at it as a micro of this year, that's what we talk about with Brady, with Mahomes, with Montana, with all the guys in between. The ability to connect with everybody on the roster to where the 12-year veteran who knows they're going into the Hall of Fame is like, I can't wait to show up to work and play for this guy. That's the biggest difference. But let me tell you this. The Eagles, real quick. Look, the Eagles had a Super Bowl winning coach. You all remember and know, as I do, Coach Schwartz, Jim Schwartz, one of the best defensive coordinators the game has seen in a little bit, and he won on defense a huge part of that Super Bowl, despite Brady throwing for 500. We don't talk about that. But the point being is that, these guys left. Doug Peterson wanted out. Jim Schwartz wanted out. They still had a key piece of a lot of the roster. They upgraded with A.J. Brown. Sorry, had to bring that up. But at the same time, look, this team, when you look at it, still has a lot of major components that were in 2017. The rare thing that happened, Ramon, to follow up on that, is you don't usually see teams that win it all and then lose their coach, lose their coordinator, lose what the Eagles lost, and then bounce right back. They drafted Jalen Hurts, and they really weren't as bad as it maybe looked in the final year for Doug. That's what I would answer.
Okay.
So what do you feel like then when you look at this Eagles team that you're a little bit nervous about? Like what's the one thing that you're like, okay, this could be a problem? Because there's so many positives like you've listed on both teams, really. But what's the one thing you're thinking, okay, maybe this could be a weakness?
Travis Kelce. And it's not even so much Patrick Mahomes, Kayla, right, as it is like, I'm not as concerned about Patrick Mahomes if he can't get the football to Travis Kelce.
Yep.
There are guys that he's going to throw to. There are guys that he's going to target. But he's not Patrick Mahomes without, and it's not a Batman Robin. It's like a Batman. Like, you need that guy out there involved in the game to win a game of this magnitude. The Eagles can combat that by getting to the quarterback. They've got 4 guys with double-digit sacks. They've been able to do that. So I definitely think that there's a way around it. But if they don't take Travis Kelce out of the game, I don't know what happens at that point. The Eagles are going to be in a dogfight. The Eagles are going to be in a shootout. The Eagles are going to be in a situation, back to Ramon's point, Taylor, where you can't make a mistake and you can't go for it on 4th and short if you know that Mahomes and Travis Kelce are dialed in. The Eagles have not been great. The good news is neither of the Chiefs, but the Eagles have not been great stopping the tight end position in that deep and really central middle field there, putting it a little bit more on linebacker and safety coverage. That's it. That's the main concern. It just so happens that he's like one of the best ever to play the position, so he can crush you. That would be my main concern right there. That keeps Kansas City in the game by a mile.
So you've just been talking about, we all know the Philly fan base, crazy but wild, but very, that's just, it is what it is. But they expect championships. They expect winning seasons. With saying that, like, how much pressure is on this team, considering it's not going to look the same next year?
Yeah, I think for the most part, things like you bring back Jalen Hurts and you bring back Nick Sirianni, you bring back a couple of key pieces on defense. It looks like, Jason Kelsey's gone.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson's coming back, but he's hurt. You don't know how much longer you can get this all-pro level of play there. You're right. And you look around at other positions and think, well, you may have to upgrade. I think you're fine at the cornerback spot, Bradbury and Slade, depending on, what they can do long-term, if that's the goal there to keep them. The biggest thing is, all right, you're probably going to lose a guy like Fletcher Cox, Hargraves. Like, you're probably going to lose some guys up front. You have Brandon Graham could be gone. You have Josh Sweat. You have some depth at the defensive line. I'll tell you the biggest hope, and by the way, real quick, if I may say, living in Nashville for nearly 3 years, I've made that trek to UT. I've made that trek to Neyland Stadium. So as crazy as we are, right? I mean, come on. As crazy as Philadelphia is, I've seen the madness for a ball game. So let's just, it's 6-1. I'll put it at that.
And we're proud.
No, really. Yes, so are we, my friends. So are we. But no, that's how I would say it. It's just, you look at this from more the big picture. That's all.
Eytan Shander, our guest, Fox 29 Philadelphia and OddsShopper.com. So talking about A.J. Brown and specifically your expectations for him in this game. Titans fans are familiar with what he does on the biggest stages and the way he rises to the occasion in games where he knows he's going to be judged for years to come. What is your expectation? What do you think you're going to get from that guy on Sunday?
I think, and I'm going to talk this through here, I think this is going to be A.J. Brown's most important game in his career for a couple of reasons. One, because it's the Super Bowl. Hey, he's the number one wide receiver on a team that's in the Super Bowl, and I'm expecting that team to win. Yeah. I don't expect him to have a day. I think the Chiefs, if you look at what happened with Chase, if you look at what the Chiefs have been able to do, they're not a great defense, but they've been able to pinpoint areas and slow a guy down at the expense of others. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think you're going to get an effort early to get A.J. Brown involved, but I wouldn't be shocked if he had 4 catches for 42 yards and was kept out of the end zone. Meanwhile, Dallas Goedert or Devontae Smith have 8 grabs for 110 yards and maybe 1 to 2 touchdowns. So when I say the level of importance, like, this is why A.J. Brown, and I hate to say it because I don't think he initially wanted out, but all the economics, and you all know more about the inner dealings of it, but this is why A.J. Brown wanted a new place like Philadelphia as a chance to win and to shine and to be individual star, to get paid, but also, of course, to win. And I think at the end of the day on Sunday, he's probably going to sacrifice one for the other. And I didn't play in the NFL, but I imagine that outside of that big green jacket you get in Canton, winning a Super Bowl is the next best thing, if not a 1A to it. So I think AJ's fine with it, but I wouldn't expect a big game from him. I think other guys like Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert are going to be the key.
All right, Eytan, you've been making me money ever since the first time you came on this show. Give me a player prop for the big game that you got for the people on Sunday, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think, and I have to credit the 49ers, and this was the ace I was holding here, because the Kansas City Chiefs offered 0 bulletin board material. They offered nothing. Andy Reid saw it with Freddie Mitchell when he coached the Eagles. Patrick Mahomes is way too smart and savvy. The 49ers have fired up the Philadelphia Eagles this past week by going on this media tour. And one guy who I think has been not singled out as far as like on the exterior, but has been talked about and has been built up. And I just personally know a couple of guys have gone over to him and been like, this is ridiculous. And that's not Jalen Hurts with the MVP. That's not Devontae Smith. That's not A.J. Brown. It's Dallas Goedert. And the whole thing with Kittle versus Goddard and how Goddard was basically forgotten, something tells me that based on the game flow that I mentioned with A.J. Brown kind of limited a little bit, and the fact that for some reason the Eagles have like taken this Kittle and 49er stuff really personally, and I think it's going to manifest itself back where Sirianni is going to be like, we got the tight end here. Dallas Goedert, anytime touchdown. That's my favorite prop bet on the board.
Love it.
There we go.
I can see that.
Eytan Shander, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Always good to have you on the show, man. Best of luck Sunday, and we'll be sure to do it again soon.
It's not often I say this, that my bets are tied specifically to my team. So if the Eagles win, then you know I'm doing all right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time as always. There's Eytan Shander with us. We'll react to that. I want to get y'all's thoughts as well on the expectation for A.J. Brown, too. Because I feel like one way or another, we're going to be talking about A.J. Brown Monday.
Sure.
But I don't think there's a lot of middle ground on what he is or isn't going to do. Coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine now because people who have joint pain are getting real lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Hash Ramon Foster and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting treatment. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And if you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or an injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover this remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available for folks like you and me who are sick or tired of joint pain. So don't put this off any longer. Spring is coming and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. So call QC Kinetics now, 615-249-4024, and get a free consultation from the people that I know, local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. The number is 615-249-4024.
Diamond.
Completely here, by the way, for just doing Rihanna and
Me
Beyonce
too.
music for the rest of the show.
Can
Yeah,
we
I'm
say,
here
can
for
we
that.
at the end do Cheers to the Freaking Weekend? Man, I love that song.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered
Love
by
it.
All Four Seasons Garage Doors.
Why?
The answer is Beyonce, by the way.
You've never heard that?
I'm pretty sure I have. I just
it's a good
probably
one.
know the name of it.
The answer is Beyonce. In the
It's
Beyonce-Rihanna
100%.
debate.
You guys are Beyonce.
Yeah, I'm Beyonce all day.
Because she's got the Destiny's Child
catalog,
resume and
yup.
catalog as well. That's like an extra career.
She had a career before the other
telling
career,
you.
right?
Yeah.
And I think, of course, we're never getting the Rihanna album. It's like this the social media joke. Rihanna, when's the album coming? Well, Rihanna got into makeup, and she's officially attached a
Skincare.
B to her name. You hear me?
Fenty.
She's a billionaire now, and it's not because of music.
She's good in the in Black Panther, though. Rihanna's song for the new Black Panther.
Uh-huh.
I cried. I cried a couple times in that movie.
She at least got to get it. So it's so good, though, is it
Oh,
not?
it's incredible. The post-credit
It
scene.
Good.
is.
I haven't seen it.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, the
Save it for the
post-credit?
off-season, yes. Which the biggest, we got what? We got 7 days till like the biggest Marvel movie in like years.
Which one?
Quantumania.
Quantumania. Yeah.
Anyway,
You're
I'll
such a
nerd
Marvel
out
guy.
about that later.
Yeah, we'll be watching it.
I think one way or another, we're talking about A.J. Brown on Monday. And I think he either has a monster game or we're seeing him complain about a lack of touches on the sideline. And I don't think there's an in-between. Because A.J. Brown doesn't do anything halfway. Similar to the way he was in that New York game. Now, granted, if they win and he has 2 catches for 23 yards, he's going to be a lot happier for this one because he'd get a ring.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. But I think he takes center stage in some capacity where we're either talking about, wow, AJ dominated, which I think is more likely, by the way,
Yeah.
than the alternative, which I think is also possible, that he gets shut down
Nowhere
by the
to be
Chiefs
found.
and they take him away, and that's their defensive game plan.
I think he has a significant game simply because he's out there. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at with it. And the fact that they know they got to get AJ going. If they get AJ going, that opens up other things. And they'll have time to get AJ open too. You know, I think the fact that he's AJ Brown. I think that's even if he doesn't have 120 yards, 7 catches or something like that, his presence out there is what it's all about. So if Devontae Smith does have a big night, it's probably because you had to double him.
Yeah. I think when things get a little quiet around AJ is when AJ is like, hey, here I am.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been a lot of AJ talk in terms of like, oh, he's dominating like this game and that. It hasn't really been that. I mean, to Will's point, we kind of saw the pouting on the sideline because he wasn't getting a lot of targets. So I think I disagree with Eytan in the fact that he said he doesn't think AJ will probably be a factor.
Yeah.
Like, I think he will
Yeah.
likely be a big part of it.
I can't see a scenario where he's not, you know?
Yeah, I think he's either all in or all out. I don't think A.J. Brown's going to go 3 catches for 34 yards. Like, I think it's either, 2 catches for 10, or we're talking, 11 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Or
like,
this,
I think it's very possible.
the big play,
Right.
The big play
right?
for AJ.
The big play,
Yeah.
which is very doable for A.J. Brown because we know he did it back here. We've
Yeah.
seen it in Philly. Like, it could be that, too.
Do you have prop bets on AJ in a sense? Do you have any idea? Okay. I was just wondering, what's his
I can
over
find
under, I guess, when it comes down to I think he has about 75 yards this game. That's where I'm at. If he has no yards, then that's probably a big win for Philly. That's the way I kind of look at it.
Sure.
Play the over-under game. What do we think the total is in Vegas for A.J. Brown receiving yards?
75.
I'll say 78.5.
Where you at?
80.
80.
80?
Yeah. He's got to be a point
Because I
because
think they'll.
the
yeah.
first few plays probably go through AJ in a sense whenever they decide to throw the ball.
Ramon Foster, our winner, 72.5.
Okay.
The total for A.J. Brown receiving receiving yards.
I'll
Yep.
take that.
So you're.
I would make that bet right
Okay.
there. 100%.
The bet I'm making, Isaiah Pacheco over 16 and a
Love
half
that.
receiving yards. No, I'm serious.
All
Over
about
16
it.
and a half.
Over 16 and a half receiving yards for Isaiah Pacheco.
Considering McKinnon is their go-to receiver, though, as far as out the backfield, you wouldn't pick him? No
I don't
dice?
think he is.
Okay. All right.
No, I think at this point, Pacheco has become that number
He's
one.
become
out of the
that number
backfield.
one. Okay, so it shifted.
I mean, the fact that he had 3 for 50 against Cincinnati, and that was in a situation where Mahomes was checking it down to him because he didn't have the option to run and escape the pocket. But I think Pacheco is a force in this game. I really do.
You said he's a key, right?
Yeah. I think he's the X factor. Oh, the X factor for Kansas City. Jalen Hurts is the X factor for the whole game for me. But I think getting Isaiah Pacheco the ball, specifically in the red zone, is going to make a big impact for Kansas City.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I don't know who to pick a winner from. I'm going to be real. I know I picked my winner, but now I'm looking on the other side. Like, I might stick with Kansas City. Although Eytan really sold me on this one.
I think I'm sticking with KC.
You sticking with KC?
Yep.
Yeah.
Coming up next, hour number 4, just like that already.
My goodness.
Happened quickly today.
Last one before football season ends.
Don Davenport will stop by, 9:20. The final hour we have to preview a football game until August.
Where'd
How does
the
it make
time
you
go?
feel?
It really feels kind of lonely. Like, we got to find other stuff to do.
Oh, we'll listen to more Rihanna and Beyonce as well in hour 4.
That's where I'm at. Everybody hurts, man. Well, luckily for me, I got travel baseball out the wazoo.
Yeah,
so
you'll be busy,
I'll
man.
be busy regardless.
We got baseball season. Well, what you
We
talking
do
about?
got baseball season coming up, right?
The World Baseball Classic is already,
Go.
the qualifiers already started, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, baby.
What about football? Football.
Yes, baby.
Soccer?
Soccer.
Yeah, we got a big fixture Saturday morning. I'll tell you about it in the break because I don't want everyone to tune out off of the show. Fourth quarter next. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Fellas and ladies, because everybody deserves to be spoiled. Do you hear me? But if you want to be a real hero this Valentine's Day, you gotta get to Genesis Diamonds. That's because Genesis make it easy with the total romance package. It's the jewelry, the flowers, the candy, and the dinner. All the key ingredients for a memorable Valentine's celebration. And here's how it works. When you buy any piece of jewelry for just $99 or more, Genesis will give you a bouquet of flowers from Jenny's Flowers and a gift card towards dinner at STK Steakhouse. You know, Genesis specializes in romance, and they have the lasting and timeless gifts that reflect and celebrate your love. This year, they pulled together some wonderful Valentine's gift ideas, including rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, and affordable quality gifts that will be a hit. And of course, if you're getting engaged this Valentine's, Genesis can create the ring of her dreams with their dazzling GIA diamonds and designer mountings, unlimited possibilities. Bring the sparkle and the romance with one-stop shopping at Genesis, where you can just spend $99 or more and get the flowers, the chocolate, and a gift card for dinner free. Happy Valentine's Day from Genesis Diamonds, located in Green Hills and Cool Springs, and of course, limited quantities, and see store for details.
It is 9 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. Patrick Mahomes won the AP Most Valuable Player Award last night at the NFL Honor Ceremony. He received 48 of 50 first-place votes. It is his second MVP award in his 6-year career. Justin Jefferson won the Offensive Player of the Year award. Nick Bosa won the Defensive Honor. Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Sauce Gardner, a teammate, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Brian Daboll of the Giants won the Coach of the Year award. Geno Smith, Comeback Player of the Year. Dak Prescott, Walter Payton, Man of the Year. Rondé Barber, Jarrell Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware among the 9 people elected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Super Bowl 57 Westwood One coverage begins at 1 o'clock Sunday here on The Zone. Oklahoma and Texas have agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million to join the SEC in 2024, a year earlier than they had originally intended. The schools are foregoing distributable revenues to help make that deal happen. To the association, Minnesota at Memphis tonight, 7 o'clock tip. Tomorrow at Rocky Top, Missouri at number 6 Tennessee, 5 o'clock tip, 4:30 Vol Network pregame right here on The Zone. For my foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
And the show goes on into the 4th and final hour, the 20th and final hour of the week, the biggest hour of the big game preview that we've got for you this morning. Don Davenport coming up at 9:20.
Yeah.
And right now, a full crew in our 104.5 The Zone studios. An 11-year NFL veteran, Vol for Life, Super Bowl participant. Ramon Foster.
Yeah.
Our broadcast journalist veteran, whose J is always capitalized, and Kayla Anderson. And Jonathan Schaefer, our producer. I'm Will Bowling.
Yeah. Run it up.
And it's 9:02 in America's Music City, and you need to know that the time is now. Even though you can't see me.
Let's go.
Thank you. Coming up, keys to a Philadelphia win, keys to a Kansas City win, as we continue our conversation on Super Bowl 57. First, though, some good news for the Titans, as one new coach will not be leaving within the division for a defensive coordinator position. Chris Harris, now announced as the Titans cornerbacks coach and pass game coordinator on the defensive side of the football, had been discussed for the defensive coordinator position with D'Amico Ryans, as well as replacing D'Amico Ryans in San Francisco. The Texans are expected to hire Cardinals D-line coach Matt Burke as their new defensive coordinator on D'Amico Ryans' staff. That per Ian Rappaport just a couple of minutes ago.
There you go.
Nice. This Titan staff is coming together, huh? Like fully, all the way.
Well, and I was saying when Rhett came in here a minute ago during the break, we were talking about just all the movement within, but there are also some good hires that have been made from the outside, which brings in some new ideas.
Yeah.
And even some of the guys that you switch to different spots, you're kind of saying, okay, you're specific now in what you're going to do.
Yeah.
There's a little extra added detail that you'll be doing to help then that coach at that position.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit more of that. I think expanding a staff, when Malarkey was here, my first year here, there was like the basics.
Yeah.
Now I feel like there's a lot more
Intricate,
to this staff, which you see some of these successful teams have nowadays.
Well, and I think that's the point to be made right there. They're strategically like piecing together different roles to kind of maybe simplify the job so they can maximize everything surrounding how to build up a team. And I think that's smart. I think, of course, giving too much on one guy's plate can be a lot for him. Or if you're the only one making decisions, and I'll continue to say, it seems like when it came down to decision making, it seemed like J-Rob had a little bit more say so at the end of the day. If he wanted something, I ain't saying he, slammed his fist on the table. I just think now that you got different consultants and the collaboration aspect of how they're going to do business moving forward, it could be really good for this Titans just front office. I ain't even talking about the players. If the front office is good and everybody's on the same page and there's different checks and balances, that's a good place to be at.
615-737-1045 if you would like to give an X Factor or a key to a Super Bowl prediction, as we do here in hour number 4. We gave our X Factors earlier in the show, and we'll let Kayla bat lead off on keys to a win for either team.
Well, I thought it was interesting that Eytan brought up you absolutely have to shut down Kelsey. I don't think it's interesting, but I feel like, again, that's something that is the known because Travis Kelce has been that guy. So I think really for the Eagles, their safeties, their linebackers have to be heavily involved in this, have to be shored up in their tackles, because where Kelce is targeted is those short, intermediate areas of the field. Over the middle, the linebackers have to have that area covered. When it comes to the safeties being on alert, y'all, Mahomes also likes to freelance.
Yes, he does.
And he can do that and find Kelce. And in those moments, that can be troublesome. So the safeties have got to be on their game as well. I mean, you cannot make a lot of mistakes or allow big plays if you are the Eagles' LBs or safeties in this one.
Keys for me with the Eagles is exactly as you said, too, with Mahomes freestyling. Don't let him get too side to side. That's the thing about him. His north and south game is not the greatest. But that side to side of containing him with Hassan Reddick and Sweat and all those other rushers up front, and including safeties and linebackers, to your point, if they're spying on Mahomes, because that's what he wants to do is shake and bake and find Kelce. That's who they are. They are shake and bake. So, keeping him inside of the box and not letting him be premature in his movements to create with his offensive weapons, I think that's going to be crucial. Keep him in the box as long as you possibly can. One of my keys to the games for the Chiefs. For the Eagles.
For the two teams with the most explosive plays in the NFL this year, I think this one comes down to the bread and butter outside of those plays.
What's that?
Because I think both teams are going to have a big moment, a big splash play in this game. I think ultimately those neutralize each other. And I think this one comes down to those 3rd and mediums for Philadelphia, where when they run on 3rd and 6 and they run on 3rd and medium, they convert 78% of the time on either 3rd or 4th down.
Insane.
On the flip side for Kansas City, the 10 receiving touchdowns by running backs in the red zone this year, the bread and butter of in short yardage situations, Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if he's back totally 100% out of the backfield. And like Kayla mentioned, in Travis Kelce in the intermediate routes. Whoever takes away, I think, the easy stuff on 3rd down and short and 3rd down and medium, I think ultimately wins this game because both teams are going to get theirs, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, you feel like Valdez-Scantling has a big play, or Sky Moore, or Isaiah Pacheco has a big run, or, there's that big red zone 30-yard play to Travis Kelce. And on the flip side, you feel like Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, or A.J. Brown, one of them is going to have a reception of 20-plus yards and a touchdown.
Yep, I think so, too. So I think that is A.J., actually.
If both teams are getting those moments, A, you got to pick the right moment to either give up or not give up that play. But B, I think it comes down to the everything else in the game that ultimately decides. I think it's going to be awesome. I really do.
I know. It's like a coin flip for me. Really. I mean, I know I'm going on the side of the Kansas City Chiefs, but I really could probably be like, okay with both, with either.
I think that's where I'm at. I'm gonna ride with the Chiefs until I see Mahomes is not capable of it. Although I love this Eagles defense. I do. If that offensive line of the Chiefs can push back on this Eagles team, then I'm all in on them. And I think that's the biggest component for my key to the game for Kansas City is you got to make sure your guys up front are playing real good bully ball. because they got 4, 5, 6 trench monsters that can't wait to get after Patrick Mahomes.
They're sack crazy.
They are. It does remind you that 2020 Tampa Bay team.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I think either way, the loser of this game is going to feel pretty anxious about the future. Pretty anxious because if Patrick Mahomes loses another Super Bowl, the conversation quickly shifts from, wow, this young guy's got 2 rings already. He's got some MVPs. He's on his way to Brady-like numbers, perhaps, if he stays healthy for 10, 12 more years.
Yeah.
If he loses this game, Patrick Mahomes is a great regular season quarterback that's won a Super Bowl already, but now can't get it done on the biggest stage for a second time in a row.
Aaron Rodgers has what, 1?
Yep.
1.
Yeah.
But I think the separator between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, though, is Patrick's actually gone to the Super Bowl again. Sure. Aaron hadn't even sniffed it. I think both still can be true about Patrick Mahomes being that good and chasing Brady. I still think that's the case a little bit. I don't necessarily want to call, X him out in a sense when it comes down to not winning the Super Bowl. This is a freaking, like when Vince Young said they had a super team in Philly, he didn't know what that looked like.
Right.
Like nobody has said Philly has a super team, but they do.
Real quick, can I say something real quick? On the other side, though, I think if Jalen Hurts can't get the job done, they're already talking in Philly. Is that the guy?
Completely agree.
Ooh,
and it's totally
absolutely.
Totally unfair. But the burden of proof,
but it is what it is.
The burden of proof to win over Philly fans is higher than any other place. I know.
That's kind of ridiculous, though.
Yeah, but
it's
I
100%.
guarantee you they'll start talking about that if that's the case.
It's 100% ridiculous, but it's what's going to happen.
That's why people in Philadelphia hate themselves.
And I think that the flip side of that, too, is, we put Jalen Hurts behind the best offensive line in football, but we're not going to have that same offensive line.
We surrounded him with weapons.
That's what's going to happen. So either way, I look forward to the ensuing meltdown from either side. I choose to look at it as a win-win, not just 2 kind of obnoxious fan bases going up against each other. I choose to enjoy whoever gets to melt down on Monday.
He chooses violence.
I do.
That's fair.
Coming up next, we choose to go to Phoenix, Arizona, and chat with Dawn Davenport out there broadcasting live with 3HL this week. I want to know if she's had a conversation on or off their show that has changed her opinion on this game. Because you get to talk to so many people at Radio Row. Have any of those interviews changed her perception of the way this game goes? Coming up next, Dawn Davenport joins us. Little show versus show collaboration. Collaboration.
Happy
Titans
birthday,
way.
Ran Carthon.
On 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson for Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, one of the best HVAC companies around, simply because they do everything you need them to do, okay? They are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs, and they are a York certified expert company, and they always back by a 10-year parts and labor warranty on York products also, Kayla.
They're also very dependable. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, family-owned and operated company that has been in business for over 10 years. The family business, very well known for their outstanding customer service. We all like that. And you ask, well, why is it? Because it is not a company reputation. They actually can't hide behind any of that. It's a family reputation. They put it all on the line every single day. The Spring Hill Heating and Cooling family responds promptly to your issues and gets the problems resolved quickly and accurately.
And if you also need repair work, speaking of that too, Kayla, they offer free service costs with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on their repairs too. And if you need a new unit, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling offers 60 months, no interest financing. Plus, they can provide the financing for qualifying purchases and free estimates on replacement units. So go visit the people we know and trust at springhillac.com and be sure to tell them that Ramon and Kayla sent you.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone with Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson. I'm Will Bowling.
There's B.
Little Beyonce.
There she go. I'm here
The
for
question
it.
of the day that Buck Rising started on his show was Beyonce or Rihanna. And we go to the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, live from Phoenix, early morning for 3HL's Don Davenport, who joins us this morning. Don, before we get into the conversations you guys have had on Radio Row and your thoughts on this game, we've got to start with Rihanna or Beyonce, with you here too.
Oh, Beyonce.
Yes.
It's not even a question.
It's the right answer.
Yeah.
The right answer.
Well, so my co-host, the Ron Slay, would go the opposite direction because let me tell you, and we ended up missing it yesterday, but the Rihanna press conference, he's like, oh, we got it. We have to go to this. I want to see her in person, up close. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So yeah, he's obsessed with Rihanna. Yeah. I go Beyonce.
I'd forgotten, by the way, too, that when Prince did his press conference, he showed up with a guitar and background dancers and just did a concert for the media.
He did?
Really?
Like, did y'all know that? Like,
No.
I would have been, like, starstruck at that one, for sure.
But that's what he also did at
that
his
would've
ranch, too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That would have been amazing. Well, so last year we did make that press conference
Right.
because I was like, oh, we're not missing this.
No.
And it was like you walk in and it's like a cloud of smoke.
I was just going to ask. You could smell everything.
Why was it a cloud
yeah,
of smoke, Babs?
I don't know. Hey, it was legal there.
Yeah.
It was legal there.
Wildfires. We're in LA. There's some wildfires out there.
That's right. That's right.
What it was.
So, Don, I'm curious, in experiencing Radio Row with you guys last year, it's interesting. You have so many conversations over the week that you go in with an opinion on this game, and then it feels like you leave after talking to people and sitting down with interviews, and your opinion changes a little bit over the course of the week, the more you kind of dive in. Has there been any conversation you guys have had, whether on or off the show, where you feel like your opinion on this game Sunday has changed at all?
Yep. That's hilarious that you say that, Bowling, because this morning I woke up and was thinking about some of our conversations the last 2 days. So I came in that you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, that he's had now a couple of weeks to heal with that ankle, that, like all of these things, like Chiefs, offensive line is going to be able to handle this Eagles pass rush and whatever else. And after chatting with people and in particular, we're going to have Cynthia Freeland on.
Nice.
From NFL Network. And I Kayla, I know you know her.
Yep.
But she is really into the numbers, the analytics, like the Philadelphia Eagles, are completing 58% of their passes when, they're up against linebacker, this and that. Like she dives deep into the numbers and the stats. And listen, I am all about analytics and what the numbers say, but like I'm also a big emotions and Patrick Mahomes and the magician and what he can do plays into things. But I will say, I was chatting with Cynthia yesterday and we were going through it. I will say that I came in with the don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, and I'm leaving with the this Philadelphia Eagles team is really freaking good, and I am now leaning in that direction. We had Cosell on yesterday, which, he doesn't care from a standpoint of who wins the game or what happens. He is just strictly, here's what the tape shows. Here's where they're strong. Here's where they're weak. He is strictly NFL matchup, Joe's versus Joe's, whatever. And I thought that was a really good conversation. If you missed that with him, then go check it out on our podcast. But yeah, so I came in Kansas City. I think I'm going to leave here from Phoenix leaning more towards the Eagles.
Wow.
That's interesting. Because I think we're all KC right now, but it's really hard. We're kind of turning towards the Eagles a little.
Yeah, I just look at. Ramon, you can appreciate what that defense is doing,
Oh,
right?
yeah, heck yeah.
And here's the thing about that defense, though. Like those guys up front, how often do we talk about? It's so hard to find, guys that can get to the quarterback, and it's hard to find them and keep them. The Eagles freaking rotate those guys. They have 10 guys that rotate up front. They have 78 sacks on the year. It's just a plethora of talent, and I think that is where the difference is going to be in the game.
Do you believe in the coaching in the game too? Because we had Eytan Shander on earlier, and he said, Sirianni can get a little brash in his approach to it, and Andy Reid seems to be the wizard on the other side. Does that matter in a game like this? And have y'all had that conversation with anybody?
Absolutely, and we've had I think Solomon Wilcott's, and we talked about experience. And Ramon, you would know this better than anybody. Like there's something to be said for experience, for doing it, for winning one, for knowing how to handle all of it. That certainly plays in. And obviously Andy Reid, has been there, done that. So has Mahomes. And I think that there's something to be said for kind of that veteran, that veteran experience and presence, and especially when it comes to coaching as well, and knowing your team and knowing what to do. And that's another conversation. Like, you have to know who you are. The Chiefs certainly know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a good game. I'm still going Eagles, but the Chiefs certainly know who they are, and Andy Reid knows who they are really, really well, and so I absolutely think that plays in. And you talk to all these guys that have played in Super Bowls, that have won Super Bowls, and they all talk about the experience factor of being there, of being in a big game, of feeling that and knowing that.
Dawn, can you paint the picture for us? Like, what is it like this week in Phoenix? There's so much going on. I mean, you've got PGA, one of the best golf tournaments, in my opinion, one of the most fun going on there. You've got Super Bowl. I mean, every star, I feel like, is there this weekend. What's been the best interview that you guys have done?
Yes, it's so fun, which, by the way, a lot of these football guys that are on Radio Row are like, hey, bye, I'm leaving. I'm heading over to the waste management. I'm like, I'm so jealous.
Me too.
Yeah. I saw Pac-Man yesterday. We were chatting with him, which, by the way, he's hilarious. Chatting with him, though, and he was headed over to the golf tournament too. So we should have him on at some point today, by the way, for Titans fans that remember the Pac days. He's a very different Pac now, but he's a lot of fun. One of my favorite interviews was Jim McMahon. If you did not hear it yesterday, you have to go back and just the stories, the nonstop stories of that team. And, he was talking about getting Walter to break the record, and, they were calling pass plays, and he's like, nope, not going to do that. I mean, just his stories. He's an unbelievable storyteller, and he dove deep into, kind of some of the great stories that I think people have never heard. And he actually lives out here. He's pushing, CBD and medical cannabis and all of that, because, you see him, he's in a wheelchair. Because he kind of struggles to move at this point. And speaking of, he talked about one of his injuries where his kidney was basically like lacerated during a play. You remember when, they didn't protect the quarterback as much back then. But anyway, so you see him kind of wheel up, and I'm like, man, Jim, like, and then he starts talking, and he is such a lucid storyteller, and just, I mean, I could not be more focused in that conversation. If you missed that, you have to go check it out on the podcast, because it was pretty amazing. And that's the thing, we didn't even talk about this matchup with him, because we're just hearing stories that I don't think were ever told from him about that, amazing team.
Awesome. 3HL's Dawn Davenport giving us a couple minutes from Phoenix this morning. Well, Dawn, we'll let you go. I know you guys have a busy schedule today. Just make sure now that Texas and Oklahoma are officially SEC members in 2024, that if Slay does horns down to anybody on Radio Row this year again, just make sure Hunk is ready to stand in quickly once again this time around.
Who's the real UT? Hey, by the way, we saw a bunch of Vols students yesterday, business students wandering around. They were getting the tour, and a couple of athletes too, student athletes, football players were there too. So, of course, I was like, oh, Ron Slay is right around the corner. They were like, what? So that was pretty cool. We go all the way to Phoenix and see some UT students and kids. They were excited to see Slay, I'm sure. You know how they reacted to him.
Absolutely.
So, it's been pretty cool. But Hey, by the way, today we're scheduled to have Kevin Harlan on.
Awesome.
Who else? I think Christian Ponner, Cynthia Freeland. I told you about just kind of the data numbers that I talked to her about yesterday. She'll be on today, so it should be a fun, good day.
Looking forward to tuning in. Don Davenport with us this morning. Enjoy the rest of the day. Travel home safe, and we'll talk soon.
Have fun.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, Babs.
All right, there's Don Davenport with us this morning on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Looking forward to hearing Kevin Harlan. We're talking about nerding out about play-by-play guys.
He's so good.
Whew. Speak it out, Will. Let it be known.
And Cynthia Freeland's a stud. If you like analytics, she's so good at numbers.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Cool.
The UT thing, by the way, talking about Trey Smith playing in his first Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So UT does something now through the business school and through the athletic department called the Big Orange Combine.
Okay.
And we saw those students out there last year. Tennessee takes, I want to say, 20 students every year to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And I want to say 5 or 6 of them are athletes. And Trey was one of them.
You're
when
kidding.
Patrick Mahomes, I want to say, won it in Miami against, I know it was.
Remember
Trey
that.
went?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And now
Trey
he's
was
playing?
there in Miami for the Super Bowl that Mahomes played in when he won against San Francisco.
Wow.
And now
That's
he's playing with
incredible.
Mahomes in the Super Bowl. That would be what? 4 years later?
4 years later.
Yeah.
I remember him
3
going
years
down
later.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
That's pretty sweet.
If we do get him on the show, if they win, we got to ask him about that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We have to.
Because one of my little brother in my fraternity was there with the Haslam School of Business.
Yeah.
And there were 20 of them. We saw some of those guys. I want to say they take 5 or 6 athletes and 20 overall students.
Man, of course Trey was going in there.
And I saw yesterday Jim Wyatt actually was the one who tweeted out the picture and said, found these UT students, and here they are taking a picture with Ron Slay from
That's
3HL.
pretty sweet, man. Colleges should do more stuff like that. As you evolve as a young adult, that's some cool stuff.
Well, especially if they want to be broadcasters in the future,
Yeah.
and having them be able to get around things like that, like Radio Row. I mean, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome, man. Babsy's saying she's changed her stance.
Yep.
That's different.
Well, speaking of some of the broadcasters around the Super Bowl and Kevin Harlan, the best call Kevin Harlan has ever had in the Super Bowl had nothing to do with the actual game.
2nd down, 20, 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a bra. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle of the 40. Arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh why, is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
I love it so much.
Unbelievable.
That's
I love
so
it
good
so
right
much.
there.
That was, I think, that was the
great.
pandemic one, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
It sounds like fake crowd noise in the background.
No, they have fans there for that one.
I know they had
But not
fans
a
there,
lot.
but it sounds
Not a
like
lot
fake
of them.
crowd noise in the background.
That was in Tampa, right?
Pull up your pants, my
Yes. Yes.
That's the one.
Well, but there were
Tampa one.
fans in Tampa Bay. It wasn't.
That's what I'm
Tampa.
saying.
But
There were
but
fans,
there
it was
weren't a
still-
lot.
They still piped in noise, though, because
Oh,
it
you
wasn't
guys
a full crowd.
remember that when they had to pipe a noise and it was either way too loud or way too. It just
Yeah, that was the 2021
That was
Super Bowl.
bad.
So 2 years ago.
I had, of course, friends play in that. They said it's by far the most
Bizarre.
weird thing you've ever been
Yeah.
a part of. To play a actual televised game with nobody in.
couldn't imagine it.
We could hear the crowd noise on TV, and it's somewhat me. I'm like, okay, 'cause it's cool enough. I couldn't imagine being out there with that going on.
Me either.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
Words to live by. Kevin Harlan, by the way, makes history in this Super Bowl, calling his 13th consecutive Super Bowl on Sunday.
No kidding.
That is no small feat.
No, that's
No
big
small
time.
feat.
I-
And the longtime voice of the Super Bowl now on the radio.
He just kind of does it all.
Yeah, he has to do it all.
He's
That's
Monday Night
good.
Football, and he is the Super Bowl, and that is as far as radio goes, he's the guy. He's him.
Yeah. Do you grow up knowing that you have a voice for big time stuff like this?
I think you grow up having a voice. If you know you have that voice the minute that you hit maturity and you hear it, you're like, whoa, I got to go into something that makes me use my voice.
Yeah,
Whether you're a voiceover guy or gal making a lot of money or a radio play-by-play or announcer,
He's bare-chested and banging his chest.
That dude was one of those social media folks too that did that. He wasn't like just a random fan. He had done stuff like that. Yeah, he was like a TikToker or something like that. Am I the only one here that don't have TikTok too?
I don't have TikTok.
You
bro.
don't have? Okay,
No.
look at us. Okay,
sorry.
You wouldn't want me on that.
You got it, Will.
I only have it so when one specific friend sends me TikToks, then I can
watch
them.
it. So you don't do the TikToks.
No, I've done one ever.
Okay.
Did you dance?
No.
Oh,
it was like a music thing.
Yeah. It was a music thing.
Yeah.
You got how many takes do folks have on that?
A ton. I
guess. Probably more than you'd think.
Yeah,
Straight
it's a
up.
job within itself. I think.
Yeah, it is.
If you're good at it.
Have you ever seen anybody do it in person? Like set up their camera ring and everything?
No.
Yeah, we were at a beach one time. And apparently this dude was like a huge TikToker. He's over there doing like all his stances and stuff, and it'd be like he'd do it, stop, look at it, do it. I'm like,
so he was a one-man band. I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, he was a one-man band, and he was pretty. I think he's pretty famous too.
What, Patrick Mahomes' brother?
Look at you be petty. Look at you be petty. I'm here for that.
Buck's a big TikToker.
No, are you serious?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, for sure.
So what is his thing?
I don't know, just what like it's his thing that he does on the air. Like he does like Titans content and stuff. Like he's like a sports TikTok guy.
So it's not like he's doing like trending stuff.
Bottle
he's done that too.
He's done trendy stuff?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I got to see this.
Is he in the club with bottles?
I know he's got a burner account.
He got a burner account.
No, literally, I have one friend in like our kind of our friend group.
You got
in
one
Nashville.
friend?
Well, yeah, but
We're his friends, so that's already two.
I know. That's
well,
three
shave
now.
free.
Some goofball in a hat.
most of my friends group balls and hats, and literally, like I just have TikTok, so when they send me posts, I don't have to like go online to TikTok.com because then I feel like I'm 80 years old.
Well, that's what I would do.
That's what I do.
They have it now, by the way.
We're 80.
When someone sends you a TikTok, it sends you a notification when that person opened it. So like I could
what?
I could text you if you had the app. I could text you a TikTok and then it would send you a link if you'd opened it. So you really know if someone doesn't like you because then when it tells you they've opened it and then they don't respond, it's like, I guess you really didn't think that was very funny.
Oh, now he takes off the shirt.
Shaky's breaking it down.
I know. Back. I'm like picturing Will out there doing all this.
Yeah, it's tough.
I've got a face for radio, so
you do.
That's why I.
No, it's become a thing with Kevin Harlan that there would be these protesters and streakers and everything that when they had a protester this previous season, I actually tweeted Westwood One Sports and said, hey, need it for the mornings. Let's go.
Let's do this.
And they got it done like an hour later.
You and the Westwood One social guy are just buddies.
Oh, we're best friends now.
By the way, I wanted to mention, I said it real quick in the break.
You did.
Not only is it Titans GM Rand Carthon's birthday, it is cornerback Roger McCreary's birthday.
Is it?
Look at
Pride
that.
of Mobile,
Two
Alabama.
great men celebrating their birthdays.
Happy born day, fellas.
Hope he has some
Pretty
baked
cool.
beans to celebrate.
Nothing cool.
He doesn't
than
eat that
having
anymore. I told you that.
I know.
It's Hendon now as the baked beans guy.
Yeah, Hidden Hooker was the one making the Bush's baked beans rounds at Radio Row. Everyone else now gets to speak to Hidden Hooker too.
Yeah, they do.
And it gets to
you
make
see his interview?
Oof.
His article on TennesseeTitans.com, and he was like, they played bad cop with him. Rand and Vrabel did.
Really?
Yeah, play bad cop. I was like, oh man, I could imagine being grilled like that by both of those dudes. Because every time I've met Rand, it's just been cool love. Like, hey man, what's going on? You imagine bad cop with both of them dudes?
I bet Hendon handled it very well.
I'm sure he did.
Kevin Harlan, 13 straight Super Bowls, calls streakers, and also animal control.
He's walking. He's walking to the 3. He's at the 2. And the cat is in the CDW red zone. CDW, people who get it now, a policeman, a state trooper has come on the field, and the cat runs into the end zone. That is a touchdown.
That's incredible.
And
that
the cat is elusive, kind of like Barkley and Elliott. But he didn't know where to go. Look at, they're trying to corner him, and they got him in the end zone. There are state troopers all around this cat, which now climbs up into the stands. And the fans are running for their life. Now it goes back on the field again. It's running in the back of the end zone. And it runs up the tunnel.
Was that at the Jets game?
49ers, I think, right?
Oh, it was? There was a black cat.
No, it was
the
Giants
streaker.
Cowboys.
The streaker was
Giants,
in Santa Clara. That's right.
Cowboys.
Because
Okay,
he said
right.
like Barkley and Elliott.
I knew it was one of the New York.
No, the best part of that's when he's doing the red zone read of the cats.
I know.
That's Hall of Fame stuff.
Somebody tell Al Michaels, this is how you make a boring game entertaining.
Yes.
Is doing
on,
things
Al.
like this.
Lighten up.
Hey, y'all hard on Al Michaels, man.
No. Yeah.
I think everybody's had a little bit of thoughts
Are
on
y'all over
Al.
Al Michaels now?
I think he's over himself.
We're
He's
over him
tired.
now. We're over
He's
this
over
version of Al
himself.
Michaels.
I think he's tired.
Coming up next.
At least of doing Thursday Night Football.
3 words that every sports talk radio show will be saying today. Who you got? Next, Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Now he takes off the shirt.
It's the energy we carry through the day on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Buck Rising Show is on deck.
Let's go.
And he's got Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, big kid.
Look at Vrabes.
Mike Vrabel at 10:05. So don't touch that radio dial. Right on the other side.
The TikTok star, Buck Rising.
I know, man. Big time give him Vrabel speaking on a Friday. After just having a presser, too? This is big.
Before we get to our who you got question that every radio show is required to ask, otherwise the FCC will pull us from air. Texas and Oklahoma, 2024.
Oh, God.
USC, UCLA, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Get them out.
The last year of college football as we know it, 2023.
It is. I think the big article about, 2 weeks ago, the big news about, look, they got to stay to 2025. I think that was to put more pressure on the people that didn't know that talks had broken down with the Big 12 exit of Texas and Oklahoma. The buyout. Of course, we all said it at the time. Money. We knew it. Money. Big 12 got to make sure they get their bag on the back end of it. And $100 million to buy out of it.
That ain't no thing. It's like a dollar bill to them.
Light work right there.
But it's good for the SEC just to get this going. Because I think people were like, 1 year's one thing, 2 years seems like a century from now.
Yeah.
And I imagine we'll get more projections and more info on what protected rivalries and scheduling models will look like moving forward. And we'll dive into that Monday and through next week as well. But we have Macho Man Todd Titan on deck in just a moment.
Okay.
Yay.
Who you got?
I got two scenarios. My first pick was.
You don't get two scenarios.
I got you. Because on here today, it did flip a little bit. I picked originally Philly 27-24.
Okay, what are you picking now?
I'm picking Kansas City.
Okay.
34-28. Because I said here, I want Kansas City to win.
Okay.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. I was originally probably going to go with Philly.
Yeah.
But I just think Dawn talked about the emotions. Maybe that's me more being a person who rides off a little bit more of the emotion side of things, the experience side of things. So for that, with Andy Reid, with Patrick Mahomes changed my mind completely when he rode on that one ankle. So I think he's way healthier. I'm going with Chiefs.
Jonathan Schaefer.
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Because even though I think Chiefs are better at coach and quarterback, which is usually how I would make that pick, Philadelphia's the best football team all around I saw all season.
Yeah. Defense, too.
Yeah.
They were just the best team I saw.
William?
You have your X Factor too, Shay?
I think the X factor in this game is Juju for Kansas City.
Really?
I think that's a person that could potentially have a big game because Philadelphia will be focusing on other guys. Juju finds a way to get open.
Sneaky like that.
Yeah.
Because, believe me, Bryson Hopkins was not a name you were expecting last year who ended up having the most catches of his career in the Super Bowl for the Rams and helped them to a Super Bowl.
Point.
Nashville guy.
That's right.
Yeah, he is.
Give me Chiefs 31, Eagles 30.
Okay.
I think this is an instant classic.
If it's high scoring, I go
too.
Chiefs.
I think it's Chiefs by 1, and I think we're all going to enjoy it, and we're all going to be sad Monday morning when football's over.
We got the draft.
But we're not sad right now because Macho Man Todd Titan has a special preview of the big game himself. We will talk to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. as the offseason begins. But right now, Macho Man Todd Titan sends us home on a Friday.
Oh, yeah! Super Bowl Sunday, right around the corner. And that means it's time for Lamont to get his expert prediction, because I have soared with the Eagles, and I've slithered with the Snakes, and I've been everywhere else in between. And one thing's for certain, and that means nothing is for certain. Kansas City, high-powered offense, and you have some experience in the big dance, Philadelphia Eagles, solid on defense and a playmaking quarterback. So it's going to be a nice, tight game. But Philadelphia, you have one thing that the Kansas City Chiefs do not, and that is a former Tennessee Titan, a former Pro Bowler, a former game changer in every way. And he's going to propel you to victory, The Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl 27-23, and your MVP will be that former Titan himself, none other than Mr.